veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh, and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh. 6 a.m. and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. And today we'll talk about Romelu Lukaku. We'll talk about Conor Gallagher once again, and then more on Conor Gallagher, and then Tosin Adarabioyo. We'll also talk about Conor Gallagher again, Michael Olise, Mando Breuer, a lot of Conor Gallagher, and Conor Gallagher. Yeah, that's you could say the reigning discussion right now, for lack of a better language there. But more importantly, I do hope you're all doing well, and I cannot thank you enough for finding the time to join me this particular morning. And remember, we keep our eyes we always keep our eyes out there, looking. So if anything new emerges, will be one of the first to talk about it here. So thank you so much for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Let's get into it without wasting much of your time. The first person in the house is the CEO of the Chelsea FC Jingles, Jude. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And Ty is in the house. Ty, thank you so much for saying that. I'm not going to read it because you're praising me there, and I'm not that sort of person. But I appreciate that, Ty. Smash the like button, people. We have 12 likes already, and we're 12 minutes into the show. Of course, 10 minutes if that being the intro music are being played. But 12 likes are not bad. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see if we can get it to 100 as soon as possible. Ty, I appreciate you. I appreciate your humbleness, also humility. You're a nice person, and you become a brother over time. So nice to see you. You know what to do. And Julius Amo, my Ghanaian bro, always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning, and I do hope you're doing well. More importantly, just say blessed morning, Kachila, and everyone in the community. Let's go! Yes, let's go, brother. Once again, welcome back. And my Iraqi bro, Mabas 05 is in the house. Mabas, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I cannot thank you enough for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. So I'm going to switch to the presentation window in a bit. Give me 1 second so we can start talking about it. This is the first one. Sorry, I'm mixing things up there. I don't want to start with the wrong information. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's go, people. Let's go. And as the show progresses, I will let you know when you can drop the questions you have in the comment section, in the chat section, session, so that we can talk about it. Okay, which one is the correct section? Yeah, okay. Well, that's the correct word there. The first item here is saying AC Milan need a new striker and have inquired about Romelu Lukaku on loan from Chelsea, with whom they have excellent relations. But I don't think that's according to Dimasio, by the way, being reported by Chelsea Transfers. 1 second, I'm going to take a sip of my good coffee. It tastes good, and I'm not going to lie to you. And we're on to The next level, 20,122. So we gained about 100 plus subscribers in 2 days. So we're already moving for 21,000 subscribers. Let's get it there and get to 30,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Mm, delicious coffee to help wake me up. Uh, the Lukaku situation, you could argue, isn't that complicated anymore. Um, I don't think we'll sell him to AC Milan, and I think if in fact the Saudi Arabia club, reported Saudi Arabia club, that were told interested in signing him, I think he'd rather go to Saudi Arabia. He's not getting any younger, and if he misses the opportunity now, he might not get it again. So I think he would want to go to Saudi, make a lot of money. I'm quite sure AC Milan will not pay anything close to what the Saudis would pay him, and if anything, if he even decides to remain in Italy, I think his most likely destination would be Napoli. And some rumors suggest that Conte and Napoli want him. But let's see what happens. It's simple, I would say. His case is not complicated anymore, and that's because Chelsea wouldn't want anything else but a permanent move away from the bridge. Yep, that's a release clause, and if you want him, you have to pay that. I don't see Chelsea changing their stance and saying, "Okay, you know what? Let's let him go out on loan." That is never gonna happen. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with Chelsea Ultras in the house. It's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. Always, always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, he says, let's talk about Lukaku. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, I've seen that particular report too, which was why I said, if he decides he wants to remain in Italy and not go to Saudi Arabia, because I think those reports suggesting that a Saudi club wants him, I think they're true. So if he decides to stay in Italy, I think his most likely destination would be Napoli. The question now is, would Napoli be willing to pay the release clause? Because Chelsea, I think they inserted a release clause. They didn't just they didn't just. I think they made changes to his contract, but inserted a release clause. Whether Napoli and De Laurentiis, a shrewd businessman, whether they'd be willing to pay that much money. I think it was 35. Was it? I can't quite remember how much it is. But let's see whether he wants to stay in Italy or continue in Italy, or maybe go to Saudi Arabia. Even Kevin De Bruyne is open to going to Saudi Arabia. And reason being, he's not getting any younger. Now is the opportunity to go and make that money. In the case of Kevin, he actually mentioned specifically, look, that his options are open, and he talks about how much he can earn in Saudi Arabia. Did say something to the effect of something you earn in 1 year, it will take you about 5 years or so to earn in Europe. But let's see what happens. Conte, yeah, thank you so much for providing that information. And nice to see that you're doing well. Thank you so much, and we're good. I can't complain. My family, and also myself, any day above ground is a good day. So thank you for asking. If Bali has a Saudi contact, so let him get the Lukaku deal done. Yes, more importantly, I understand where you're coming from, but more importantly, Lukaku himself would want to leave before that works, if that makes sense. So he can't just call him. If Lukaku doesn't want to go, he'd be wasting his time. Last summer transfer window, there were interest. From multiple clubs in Saudi Arabia, but he refused, and they were offering him a lot of money. Lukaku to Turkey, Papa Mourinho waiting. If he I think Easton, I think he will most likely go to Saudi Arabia, but we'll find out. Big up to you, to our chief research officer, Eddie, my bro. I appreciate you. You don't know how important the links to the news items you send me, how important they are. I cherish them a lot, and I appreciate you. No more loan for Lukaku. Yep. And the club, they've also told AC Milan the same thing. To Fenerbahce, let's see if it happens. Maybe they can pay him more. It's a 38 million for Lukaku. Yeah, I knew it was 30 plus. Thank you so much for telling us that. Mourinho has said he doesn't want or need him at Fenerbahce. Okay, so I think he will most likely go to he'll most likely go to Saudi Arabia. That's just my opinion. That's not saying certainly that's what's going to happen. Chances are he would want to play in Europe for one more season. But if he does that, the chances of him going to Saudi Arabia and making a lot of money reduces. Big up to you, to Tommy Bryan. In Conte we trust. That may well happen, and rumors are that they're interested. But it will become a problem if Chelsea says, "Okay, you want him, we want Osimhen." Then it's going to get even more complicated. Let's see. Keep it in line. Keep it in line. I don't want keep it in line when we get to talk about Sesko. You talk about that. He's saying he doesn't want Sesko at Chelsea. We need an experienced striker, not yeah. Just bring it up when we start talking about Benjamin Sesko. Mabaz, listen, I would want to. You can say keep it strictly interactive. Fine, but if you want me to address whatever you have there, make sure that it's aligned with the current topic. You have every right to have a conversation with a community member in the chat there, because that's what we do. And yeah, people enjoy that, and we understand that, and you're allowed to do that. But if you want me to read what you have there, even though I can't even read everything that are lined, let alone switching topics like this, I don't think it helps. But that's, by the way, I'm going to read the follow up report, which says clearly, okay, not yet, not that particular report. But let's hear you. I have a bro, Crazy E. I appreciate you finding the time to join me on the panel this particular morning. I hope you're doing well. And Constantine John, big up to you, brother. Always nice to see you. We have already tabled the full and serious proposal for Sesko. He's considering it. Okay, we get to that in a bit. Let's keep the topics online, please. Nice to see you. Crazy E, if you're there, your thoughts on Lukaku, if you have anything to add to that. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the next item. You can always come in when I open the tab with a topic that interests you, that's of interest to you. Then you can go ahead and come in. But if you're there, if you want to say something about Lukaku, you go ahead if you're there. Crazy E, you there? Are you there? You're still on mute. That's a problem. You're still on mute, bro. Yeah, it's not straightforward. A lot of people have complained about the new system, how difficult it can be. You're still on mute if you can hear me. I'm sorry about that. It's complex. And then they haven't done much. I'm quite sure the reason is because you're on a mobile device. That yeah, the reports are that it can be difficult to unmute when you use it on a mobile device. But I'll wait for you. It just maybe you need to open up YouTube somewhere to know that know when you unmute yourself. It's still on mute. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's still on mute. But keep trying. You figure it out. I'm sorry. Hola, everyone at Chelsea Perspective. Siaka, my South African bro, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I do hope you're doing well. And another OG, it's in the house in a Wally Waldo. Let's hear your thoughts on Romelu Lukaku. I don't think it's complex anymore. It's simple. Chelsea wants him gone. Waldo is saying here, I don't think experience is the problem. Our problem is our conversion rate for chances. To goals. We need a striker that can actually score. There you go. Crazy E, you're there. Go ahead, bro. Big up to you, and thank you for joining me on the panel.
Oh,
Anything you want to say with regard
yeah,
to
big
the
up to
Lukaku
you, coach.
situation? Big up, bro. Big up.
Yeah, well, for me, the Lukaku ship has sailed a long time ago. So it's whatever thing we're doing now is just looking at a way for him to live. However, um, the Conte move to Napoli, at first I thought it was a green light for us in the sense that yes, we could finally move him over there. But then we also know that the Serie A clubs are having issues financially, and at the same time, they want money. So we've also had briefs from Chelsea saying they may not be interested in Osimhen again because of one, the wages, and then the fee. Now Napoli wants that release clause paid. Chelsea will not be willing to pay that at the moment, as it seems from the reports that I have seen. So it's really a difficult thing. I don't think Chelsea will still want Lukaku out on loan again. I think they want to be done with him
Yeah.
completely in this window. So it's really a difficult situation. I don't see him personally. I don't see him going to Napoli unless they are able to pay up, and I don't see them paying up. So Saudi Arabia is for me really. I think that's where it's going to end up.
And it makes sense, and that's because probably because he's not getting any younger, and he wouldn't want to risk missing the opportunity of making a lot of money in Saudi Arabia. Look at, I think it comes down to his age. His decision to remain in Europe or go to Saudi Arabia, you could say his age will be a major factor in that decision. For instance, Kevin De Bruyne, he did say specifically he's not getting any younger. He would want to go there, and his wife is open to it, which means he's already had that conversation with his wife. And in the case of Kevin De Bruyne, last season, last summer transfer window, I think a lot of Saudi clubs were interested too, as they were in the case of Romelu Lukaku. So let's hope maybe Napoli. I don't see that happen. I think the Saudi is the only destination I see for him. Except I don't know. You never know. He may well want to play one more one more year in Europe, but we'll find out. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. There's a different ways to phrase experience. To be honest, yep. I think here's the thing. Tons of experience in this team. Even though it's a young squad, people use experience and age interchangeably. Yeah, that's a common occurrence, so I'm not too concerned there. And Kim So is in the house. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. No loans. Yep, no loans. I think the club told them that we don't want to do loans anymore for Romelu Lukaku. If you want him, pay up. And I don't see Lukaku wanting to go to AC Milan. I think he would want to go to Saudi Arabia, except if the rumors were addressed a few days ago, if they were all lies, that Saudi clubs are still interested in signing him. All right, Bobby. See you when you come here. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. None of this is a crap. I want Victor. It's not happening really. You've heard the club say they don't want him, and which makes sense. You have to sign a player that suits the manager's preferred approach. What's up to you too? I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And Wally World is saying, I think about Lukaku. Okay, should just leave. To be honest, coach, yeah, but we want to make something that we don't want the whole thing to be a huge L. We want to make we don't get, you could say, a sizable fee, not really sizable, but something that when we look back, we'll say at least it wasn't all L. Either terminate your contract or tell clubs that are actually interested in you to actually sign you. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, really. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll find out. Lukaku has only two choices: Napoli or Saudi Arabia. He's not going on loan, and he is not. He's not ever okay. He's not. He's never going to put on a Chelsea shirt again. Sorry for remixing your comment there. I had to because it was difficult to comprehend what you were trying to say there. It happens to all of us. That's not. I hope you don't take offense. If I was Lukaku, I would terminate my contract and go on a free. I think him to this, you could say, to ask Chelsea to terminate his contract will be, you could say, it's a possibility, but it have to be in a situation where Saudis come calling and Chelsea said no, we don't want to sell you right now, and he knows if he goes to Saudi Arabia he'd make a lot of money. Then he just say, you know what, I want to terminate my contract, but I don't see that happening. Let's see. IB says, big up to you too. Lukaku needs to be sold. I'm done with Italian clubs begging for loans or yeah, off to Saudi. No pay, no honey. I like that one. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Problem, if we don't get the Lukaku's wages off our books, then we cannot sign a top-notch striker like Osimhen. I think we need to. I think he's gone one way or the other. We'll find out whatever the clubs decide to do to get him off our books. Works for me. They know what they can afford to do. I don't know really. Lukaku can only go to Napoli. They sell Osimhen, and even PSG don't want to pay his fee. So Napoli have to, they have to start getting serious about prices or be stuck themselves. Yeah, it's as simple as that. We seriously need a top goalkeeper. Let's see what the club does. Zephan, sure, it's your first time here, so I'm going to read your comments, but we try to keep the topics aligned. so I don't gonna get exhausted 40 minutes into the show, because switching topics like this, which means in a few seconds your brain will be processing the different information, and that can be tiring. In fact, he was a third choice at Brighton. Okay, thank you. Yep, Ty is saying here, check out his latest video on Benjamin Sesko, where he analyzes his where I analyze how he could fit into either Arsenal, Man United, or Chelsea. Go check it out, people, and let's help him continue to grow. Very disrespectful to Chelsea. I remember that. I know why you're saying that. Every year we say he's not going on loan, only selling. But what happened? But this time, I think there's a release clause, and I don't think we'll let him go out on loan. It's either he gets sold, or maybe we agree with him to terminate his contract. But we'll find out. Uzodinma Okule here. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. I salute you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join us this particular morning. Anything else? AC Milan paid the clause, or yeah, it's as simple as that. We're not we're not a thrift store or a dollar store. You can say, yep. For Lukaku to cancel his contract, Chelsea would want compensation from him. Yep. It's as simple as that. It's either way. Yeah, except if both parties come to an agreement that it's not working out, we just have to go our separate ways. Then again, nobody will be paying anything to the other. Somebody will pay, but it will be on a fee that they agree upon. Chelsea Football Club wants Lukaku to be sold because he's a burden now, plus an inconvenience. He should go to Saudi Arabia. We wish, but everything comes down to what he wants. Exactly, Napoli need to sell us, man. Those Italian teams are stingy. I hate selling to them. Always penny pinching. Yep, very cheap. They are very, very cheap. And the truth remains, they don't have a lot of money there. Isn't loyal to Chelsea. Shocking, right? Mabas, do you think is that new to you, Mabas? It's nothing new there. We made minimal money from the Lukaku loans. Yep, we're still bleeding money, irrespective of how much the fact that he agreed for a pay cut and all that. We were still losing money. Whenever selling Lukaku, we'll find out. I'm keeping that receipt. We'll find out. It's saying here, why can't the AC Milan afford Lukaku? Funny, they should just go back being a mid-table team. But in Italy, they don't have money, but they're one of the biggest clubs there, if not the biggest. Giroud just left, so I think that's why AC Milan wants Lukaku on loan. We're not doing that. Chelsea would never just allow Lukaku to cancel. Yeah, it's not that straightforward. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We're gonna get you can say the next topic. I think controversial. I could be wrong. Let me see if that's what's coming up next. And okay, let's go. This says the Chelsea regard Conor Gallagher as a better all-round player than Mason Mount, and they wouldn't let him go for less than £50 million a bid. Atletico Madrid are also interested. Wow. Conor Gallagher is hot cake. What else do we have here? Kachila, why Italian teams don't have money? I don't know. In all honesty, I do not know. I don't know. That's all I can say for now. And Usadima is saying, let the team cancel Lukaku contract. It's not that straightforward, really. If he ever signs any other contract, he will be obligated to pay a fixed sum back to the club. Ooh, it sounds simple, but it's never going to happen. Italian clubs always play these penny pinching games. Yep, that's their thing. Hot cake, yeah. So let's hear you. Let's talk about Conor Gallagher's situation now. We're switching topics, people. Let's hear your thoughts on that. Chelsea regard Conor Gallagher. Yeah, that's an argument for another day. I think he has, you could say, I don't know. I'm not going to go into that comparison exercise. Unai Emery, that's good evening. The Aston Villa manager is saying Unai Emery is desperate to sign Conor Gallagher, who is expected to cost at least £50 million, and it's looking to move quickly in an attempt to land one of his key targets. Emery loves Gallagher's energy and is determined to convince him to join his side. This is Fabrizio Romano now reporting that Chelsea are prepared to ask for a fee in excess of £50 million for Conor Gallagher this summer. After Mount's deal last summer, Chelsea see Gallagher in similar position with Aston Villa, Tottenham, and one club from abroad keen on signing him. I'm guessing Diego Simone's Atletico Madrid. So let's hear you people. What else? Did I miss anything here? Yeah, let's see. Gallagher to Atletico Madrid is a good move for him. A perfect replacement for Saul. I think he has a lot more. He's more energetic than Saul, and probably will help them more than Saul. But Saul definitely more technically gifted. 15 million plus is fair for Conor Gallagher. Yeah, because of course Gallagher is better than Mickey Mouse. I mean, you could say that he has a lot more to. I don't want to get into that, really. I'm not too sure. Let me be honest here. Serie A is whatever you call them there. This kind of PR is disgusting because Mount has the same stamina as him, the ability to fluke assist from set piece. Wow. Some comment right there. Anything else here? Big up, Vic. Nice to see you, Vic. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Yeah, let's see. Gallagher was good this season, and scapegoating him. Forget about the scapegoating thing. There's a lot more to his situation than a lot of people want to talk about. They just, you can say, pick the part they want to talk about. They'll take it and run with it. Italian teams are being cheap. That's why they don't have money. Scrap a league. Wow, crap league. Crap teams, crap players, and everything else you said there. Vincent Idibia. Are you Two-Face Idibia's brother? 15 million plus is okay for Gallagher. Okay. That is if he's gone. But let's see what happens. I am never going to be for selling Gallagher, though I can understand the gesture. Okay. That's serious. Osimhen stays at Napoli. Yeah. Maybe that's what clubs need to do to get him to get De Laurentiis to reduce his asking price. Trust the process. Nice to see you, top player. I hope you're doing well. The Romelu Lukaku chapter should be closed. I think it will. Let's keep it in line. Right now, we're talking about Conor Gallagher. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. So if I see anything aligned with the Gallagher conversation, I'll try to get it. Vic, I've said hello to you. AB, hello to you. I hope you're doing well. And okay, I'm gonna go back to the panel. Crazy E, I'm sure you're paying attention. The Conor Gallagher situation. Something I want to say quickly. Chelsea had an offer on the table for Conor Gallagher last year, but not a lot of people are talking about that. But Gallagher at the time wanted to be sure whether he gets to play before he signs a new contract. And I did tell people that he was going to stay beyond. He was gonna stay beyond January because a lot of people thought he was gonna be sold in January, and I told him he will stay beyond January. But I did tell them the truth remains beyond January. I'm not too sure what's gonna happen, and that's because his contract situation comes into play. And now, irrespective of how much he loves Chelsea, he has the upper hand from a negotiation standpoint. He has the upper hand, and for him to remain at Chelsea, I think the club would have to must agree, must accept his demands, contract demands, and not the other way around anymore. That's because now there are offers, there are multiple offers on the table for him. There are a lot of clubs, probably most likely are willing to pay him a lot more than Chelsea are willing to pay him. So the landscape has changed, but people won't pay attention to that. People won't even remember that he was offered a new contract, but he wanted to be sure that he gets to play before he signs a new contract. But now it's like he's eating the forbidden apple by seeing that he can actually earn a lot more elsewhere than Chelsea will ever pay him right now. I think it's turning out to be, you can say, the Mason Mount Chelsea saga all over again. But let's hear you. And before that, I want to say big up to Maya, the rapper, who's in the house. So Maya, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Crazy E, your thoughts on the Gallagher situation? You can say let's speak about it objectively. In my opinion, I know a lot of people will start blaming. A lot of people will start blaming the club, calling them names, saying calling them saying they're here for profit. But the truth remains, we had an offer on the table for him last summer transfer window, but he refused it because he wanted to make sure he's playing. And now he's eating the forbidden fruit, aka he's seen that he can earn a lot more and for him to stay at Chelsea, it comes down to the club agreeing to his contract demands, not the other way around, which I think will be very difficult. But let's hear you, Crazy E.
Yeah, so as regards the Gallagher situation, it's a really difficult one. I don't think the club expected him to perform to the levels he did last season. Regardless what anybody's opinion is on Gallagher himself, there was an obvious improvement in his performance, and it was really evident. So much so that the fans brought out banners and all of that. So but at the end of the day, the club is going to do what the club wants to do, and I think their decision has been made on selling him. So whatever it is, whether the fans like it or not, he is going to leave. Now, where he is going to, that's where the question will be. With interest from Atletico Madrid, Aston Villa, I think he's going to do well. Personally, I think he's going to do really well with Unai Emery, and he might even be interested there because it will still be in the Premier League, and so the question of adapting to a new
They also
country and
have
all of that
Champions League
won't be
football.
there. Yes, they're also excellent. They also have Champions League football, so it's like it ticks everything. But it boils down to will he be willing to leave Chelsea? Does he want to leave Chelsea? Will he see his contract out? That is where the thing is. Does he still want to stay? Because last time they tried selling him, he said he didn't want to leave. So with everything that has happened now, Pochettino gone. One of the reasons why he played so much was because Pochettino saw him as an integral part of the way he wanted to play, and that is why he got those minutes. With the way everything has been said about Enzo Maresca, I don't know so much about him, but I don't see him playing so much because there's a lot of emphasis on technicality, as the technical ability of the players, and that is not one of Gallagher's strongest suits. So I don't think he will be able to stay. But outside of that, the club wants him for that pure profit. So at the end of the day, he is going to leave. That is what I think.
Yeah, yeah, Dante, I'll come to you in a bit, and I'm glad you again you spoke um about the topic objectively. Even I know you have your own opinion, but thank you for that. Gallagher will secure a move that's best that best works for his career. Aston Villa can offer him a 150K, but no way we will get 50 million for him. Remember, I'm quite sure we said the same thing um in Mason Mount, let me just use this term. In Mason Mount's case, we're all saying we're never going to get that much money. We were telling the club just take it and go. Take Manchester United's initial offer, but we'll find out. Here's the thing. Again, I'm begging people, irrespective of whether or what you think about of the situation, go back and you'll find out that Chelsea had an offer for him on the table. He didn't want to sign it because he wanted to be sure he gets to play. Yeah, he just don't want to tie himself down. He wants a situation whereby if it doesn't work out, he leaves the club. So I don't know, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Chances are he stays. He signs a new contract. You never know. Gallagher to Man United will be a great deal for them. Mr. Idibia, I hope they take him if the club wants to sell him. If he stays, that'll be fine. And I still think you whether again, I know a lot of people are concerned that he's not going to play that much under Enzo Maresca. If he simplifies his game, he has a place. Just release the ball on time. Don't try to do too much. I think he will survive it. He will. He will. The manager would like to keep him because his energy. I don't see anyone else who brings what he offers to the table, in my opinion. And he's not even my best Chelsea player. And I'm not into. You can say just for the sake of it. You can say start calling the owners' names or the club. You can say something as if selling Gallagher will mean the end of the world, and I'm not into it. But I'll tell you what he brings to the table. I'll tell you how unique he is. I'll tell you chances are he stays. All everything comes down to what the manager wants. But I've seen a lot of people turning it into, you could say, something they can use to grow their community and all that. by name calling the owners and not mentioning that Gallagher had an offer on the table last season. But that's just my opinion anyway. I know nobody would do anything to me for speaking what I believe is the truth. We have to sell Gallagher, Chelsea first. And here's the thing, my other rapper, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say we have to sell him. I'm just going to say the club comes first. Players come, go. Managers come, managers go. It's just that sometimes we get too attached to certain players. If anything happens, if the club decides to go sell that particular player, people get a kick out of it and it becomes an issue. Breaking news of Mark Robinson departs Chelsea under 21 for League One side. Okay, good luck to him. Thank you for that information. Gallagher and going to Manchester United. You never know. Osimhen shot himself in the foot by doing what the new contract, what we called at the time loyalty contract. Let's see anything else. Just keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Selling Gallagher is good for business. He says a profit. If it's forget about the profit, then let's use a more specific language. Chances are the club could decide again. We don't know what's going to happen. Sell him to balance the books, not really for profit, like you guys are saying. A lot of people use that you said that term for profit to two-word language loosely. It just doesn't make sense to say they're selling him for profits. If they're selling him to balance the books, you haven't made any profit. But it's just people. It suits their narrative. So a lot of people just take whatever that's been talked about, as long as he ends with for profit and run with it. But that's fine. I'm moving in from that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Conte, Dante, you were here. Where have you gone? I was gonna bring you on to speak, but that's okay. 15 million, not so bad for Gallagher, since there's no option to keep him. I think he's a refuser to put pen to paper. When we had an offer for him, created this situation, and he has the opportunity to earn a lot more elsewhere. But of course, the owners are going to be blamed for it all, without even referencing the fact that we had an offer on the table for him. I don't know who's going to replace a Gallagher. Lavia can be an ejected too, but not close to Conor Gallagher, but a lot more to his game. I said it since he got his first ever start. Gallagher is better than Mason Mount. I think you can say he has more to his game. You will get him more goals if he's closer to the final third. Chalobah also getting sold. While we have Bajishile, how do you know Chalobah is getting sold? Everything comes down to the player. Chalobah, in this case, he will get sold only if he wants to leave. And chances are he would want to leave because we signed Tosin Adarabioyo. So if he feels like that will reduce his playing time, he may well ask to leave, just like he did last transfer when we signed Disasi. He was the one that when Bayern came calling, he asked to leave. And the club weren't happy at the time. And that was why a lot of people were saying he's definitely gone. So right now, it's up to him. If he tells the club he wants to go, the club will sell him. But of course, nobody will pay attention to that. People would just go run with the fact that the club sold him and it's all for profit, which doesn't really make sense. If you're selling players to balance the books, you haven't made any profits. Gallagher be like, I am the captain. He's not going nowhere. Yeah, I mean, he could still stay. You never know. If Chelsea sell Gallagher, then Chelsea should sign up Fulham's Paulinha. I don't think we're signing another midfielder, even if he leaves. Paulinha is a Portuguese Gallagher, he says. Anything else? Tracy, I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Gallagher in, Disasi out, but Benoit out. Let's see what the club does. No sound for who? You weren't speaking. I think you went out. You're not in here. I'm seeing only crazy E behind here, not you. Go. Yeah. If I were him, I'd do the same. I'll take the better offer from a financial perspective. But then when he leaves, people will start blaming the club and not minding the fact that he's accepted what's better for him and his future. Where are you getting the offer on the table from, coach? Atletico Madrid. You mean Gallagher offer on the table? Is that what you're saying? Never had an offer. No, we offered him a contract. Yep, last transfer window. I think was it last transfer window? But he wanted to be sure he gets to play. Yep, we had an offer for him. Um, so you could check it yourself. I think you'll find it. Let's see. Yeah, you could say it doesn't mean good offer. I think I agree with you. But that doesn't mean we should be butchering the owners for deciding to sell a player. As long as they get a better player, I'm fine with it. Players come, players go. I don't get attached to players like that. I've learned not to do that. I hate it when the fan base name calling the owners. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's unnecessary, in my opinion. Newcastle wanted him last season in January. He refused to go too, and the club didn't want to push him out. Nobody's going to tell you that. The club did not want to force him out. If you want to stay and you bring, you can say, and you offer something like the sort of commitment we'll see from him whenever he's on the pitch, 150%. Why sell him? So you only get sold if you push to leave. The club will sell you. It's as simple as that. Name calling the owners isn't your job, coach. That's too much heavy lifting. Let the big boy, yeah, let the big boy Mineral FC do that. Dante, if you're there, let's hear you. Your thoughts on the Gallagher situation. Let's speak about everything. How people will blame the owners, the for profit thing, which doesn't make sense. If you sell a player to balance the books, you haven't made any profits. In all honesty, some fans get too emotional. Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. But let's hear you, Dante, your opinion on the situation.
Yeah, big up, coach. Can you hear
Big
me?
up to you too, bro.
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up, chat. Gallagher. Well, yeah. I'm not his biggest fan, as you know. um, yeah, it's a tough one. I think a lot of Chelsea fans are very emotionally attached to Conor Gallagher because he is, well, he was a captain, standing captain. He's an academy. He's been there all his life, and they're quite attached to him, especially the match-going fans and the English fans. They're really, really attached to him. So I can see that point of view. As a player, we've got enough midfielders. We've got quite a lot of midfielders, actually. We've got 6 midfielders. Is he better? Will he play over Caicedo? For me, no. Will he play better over Enzo? For me, no. Especially in this new system with Maresca, likes more technical players to pass the ball one touch and then pass the ball quickly, move on, or take your man on turn, dribble, always facing forward. So he's not that type of player. Lavia, I think Lavia is better than him. Even people
But if
say,
the
"Oh, we
manager
haven't seen
thinks he
Lavia."
wants him, he wants him to stay. Fine by me.
He's gonna say that for everyone. He's being professional. He just came in. He can't say, "Oh no, I don't want him." He's not gonna say that. He's a professional guy. He can't say no. No, I don't want him. He said the same thing about Sanchez. He's gonna pretty much say that about every player he gets asked till he's in there and he sees what's happening. He's a professional. He can't really say anything yet. So yeah, so I don't really look too much into that. I think Lavia will start over him if he's fit. He's really then got to fight with Leslie and Santos. If Santos comes back in and Leslie as well, I can see Maresca choosing Santos because of his technical ability and his quick passing. I think Santos would suit Maresca ball way more than Conor Gallagher. So yeah, I don't know where he fits into this team, to be honest. His contract situation is a problem, obviously, because he wants that 180 to 200,000 a week, and I don't think the sporting directors or owners are willing to give him close to $200,000 a week. I just don't see that happening. The most I think they'll give him maybe 120. I don't see them going up more than 120. So if it'll come down to that, he can stay and fight for his place, but is he going to stay and not play as much? Do you think he'll play and start every game, coach, or what do you think?
Listen, I don't know. I think a lot of people, if you ask a lot of people before the arrival of Mauricio Pochettino, they tell you that they don't see him playing week in, week out. And some were arguing, even if Mauricio Pochettino remained our manager, once Romeo Lavia returns, he has no place in the team. And I told them no. And if you paid attention, he over time became Mauricio Pochettino's most important player. Who's to say that that's not going to be the case under Enzo Moresca? Because the truth remains, if he can simplify his approach, not try to do too much, win the ball back when you get it, the releases like this. We've seen players who are like that in a team where comprised of a lot of technically gifted players, still they thrive. If you simplify your approach, you can play under any manager, irrespective of the approach. If you get my point. Here's the thing: if the manager wants him to stay, he stay. And Vic, if I said go away, if I said you only get, so if the word only wasn't what I said, then I'm taking it back. Uh, Let me just simplify it. If you push to leave, you get sold, even if the manager wants you to stay. But I don't think it'd be correct if I said that. Then that's wrong. I don't think it'd be correct to say you only get sold if you push to leave. No. If you're not good enough, the club will decide to sell you. If the manager feels like your surplus a requirement, you get sold. So if I phrased it like that, then I was wrong. If that makes sense. Let's be honest here. I think he may well end up leaving. I think most likely because the situation is complicated right now. Just as I told people that he stays beyond the January, and beyond that, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. Why? Because his contract situation comes into play, and the term, the language. Here's how I explained it. He's eaten the forbidden fruit. He's seen how good the world can be for him from a financial perspective, because those clubs interested will most likely, definitely, offer him more than Chelsea will be willing to pay him. So, irrespective, let me use Vic's favorite language. Irrespective of Conor Gallagher's love for Chelsea, he would want to go where he will earn a lot more. It's business for all parties involved. It's as simple as that. And you, as an individual, if you're looking for a job, you most likely take one you earn a lot more. You're not gonna have two options on the table, job offers on the table, and end up with one that you earn a lot less. And it's not like he will be moving to Saudi Arabia or move to Africa. Lots of the, now you can say 90% of the offers are all in England. So even if he moves, it won't be that much of a move for him, and still earn a lot of money. So it's complicated right now. It's a very
Yeah.
it's a complicated situation, not as simple as a lot of people make it out to be. I get it. The owners will get sticks. People wouldn't even pay attention to the fact, yeah, he could have signed a new contract, but wanted to make sure he gets to play. Everything, again, I'm going to repeat this again. It's business for all parties involved, and Gallagher will do what's best for him. If other clubs offer him more, most likely he's gonna leave Chelsea Football Club,
Yeah.
and if he decides to leave, fine. If the manager feels like he can use his energy, and with time he improves in terms of he's not that bad technically, but he's not the best. And I get people's concern that chances are he won't fit into Endo Maresca's approach. And the concerning thing is that people aren't actually paying attention to that aspect. They just want the club to keep him just because of his energy alone. And I personally think, um, technically he's not the worst. I think he can play in any team as long as he simplifies his approach, as he continues to improve. As you see, he's improving. That's just my opinion. But what I don't
Yeah.
like is how people just want to blame the owners for everything. If a player decides to leave, they don't pay attention to the fact that, yeah, the player have decided to go where you say, to do what's good for himself. But people just want to take the aspect that, yeah, the club sold him for profit, and that's all they want to talk about. Now, and I don't know. For me, that doesn't make any sort of sense, because you can't sell a player for profits and then end up just balancing your books without making any profits. It just doesn't make sense. Common coach is selling a player to balance the books means if you don't sell that player, the books will be underwater. In essence, it's profitable. I think we're getting too technical there. It just doesn't make sense. Balancing the books, when your aim is to balance the books, did you make any profit? That's the question I want to ask you. If you go with the language that the player being sold is pure profit, in the sense that no taxes, then I will listen to you. But you cannot convince me that if you sell a player to balance the books, that you make money. But we shouldn't even go that far, because there are factors we have to consider. We've been told, I think it was a few weeks ago, if he refuses to put pen to paper for a new contract, the club will have no option to sell him, and that makes sense. They wouldn't want to lose him as a free agent. If you get my point, Maresca doesn't have a say on transfers. Pochettino was never given the chance to speak with Havertz, Mount, or Kovacic. That was Havertz himself. Did he wait? Did Kovacic wait? Kova didn't wait. Kova himself said he was seeking, lost correct language here, a different challenge. That he thought it was about a time he moved on. Yeah. In the case of Kai Havertz, the moment Real Madrid came calling, he wanted to leave. So why are we always, you could say, going back to blaming the owners for one reason or the other? But I get your point. He says the club needs the funds, and that's a fact. Maybe that's the case. That's the case. And in Conor Gallagher's situation, if he doesn't sign a new contract, they will sell him. And it's looking like he's going to leave. And players come, players go. Whether you can say you were born in the Copper at the Copper ground. If the club decides you're not good enough, if you refuse to sign, if they fear they're going to lose you as a free agent, they have every right to sell you. And I'm not complaining about that. Our best option for Gallagher are Villa, than being in the Europa Champions League. And I think he will go for what's best for him. My concern is that people wouldn't consider that he didn't sign a new contract. He refused to sign a new contract. They would just go with the owners, sold them. I'm watching from Juba, South Sudan. My South Sudan brother, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And what's your name? Yuastino, I hope you're doing well. Fill at home, express yourself. Your opinion matters. We just ask you to keep it civil, no name calling, and everything you see those in the chat there. I have heard people saying no club will offer Gallagher. I think a lot will. A lot will. Hence, the club not offering him more than 100K was logical. No, it's not. Watch him get, a lot more, actually. Chances are he gets a lot more. No, there are reasons he can get a lot more. He's British and all that. And he's a good player, irrespective of what anybody says. Maybe not good enough for Chelsea, not up to me to decide. It's the manager. When I say pure profit, I just mean in the not. I'm not in the sense of money earned from a deal, whether it goes to balance the books or to buy new talent or to invest in the club. It came from the original profit made. Yeah, that makes sense. But people use it loosely. If you hear them talk about it, you can argue some actually think that's the case. Some actually thinks they sell the player, take the profit, put it in their pocket, and that's it. But you explained it objectively. You explained it how it can be, you can say, understood by even someone that doesn't know what that means. That's perfect. But a lot of people say it loosely, thinking they sell them, get the profit, take it, go buy something, some car, something like that. That's how they see it. They don't see it like you explained it there. If he loves the club that much, he should not leave. No, it just doesn't make sense. First of all, it's business for all parties involved. He has to do what's right for him. I don't forget the love the club thing. That's secondary, really. It's business for all parties involved. The owners see him as an asset. He sees the owners as employers. If he gets a better opportunity elsewhere, he's gone. It's as simple as that, really. Paul Crossley, I appreciate you. Forget you joining us. Wish Gallagher could stay. If they keep him, I'm fine. If the manager says he likes him, Mauricio Pochettino towards the end of the season used them effectively. But everything comes down to what the manager wants, but we'll find out. Ngale, nice to see you, Ngale. I hope you're doing well. Bobby, big up to you, and thank you so much for finding the time to join us this particular morning. Bobby, let's hear you. The Conor Gallagher talk. If you want to also talk about the Romelu Lukaku situation, AC Milan wants him on loan, and Chelsea told them, no, we're not doing that. And before Bobby starts to speak, I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes. We've been averaging 1,000 views plus more. But we need the likes. Yesterday didn't get to 100, but he was close. Go ahead, Bobby. Let's hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Crystal
Okay,
clear.
so that makes a
Yeah.
change. Yeah, I mean, Lukaku, bye. Not really much else to say about that. It's good that we're trying to get him sold. I think the main talking point here perhaps is Conor Gallagher. I'm very disappointed and a little bit sick and tired of some of our so-called fan base, some, not all, whose agenda is quite frankly to demonize and attack anything and everything the ownership does. I concur with what you say, but I look at it slightly differently in that, yes, it's business for all parties concerned, 100%. And if Gallagher doesn't sign a new contract, we have no option. It's only common sense that we will have to sell him because he's at a point where we can get some sort of money for him anyway. And then this is where the word pure profit comes in. What I'm admiring in the club and what these Chelsea detractors, these aren't fans, they're just detractors, never want to get behind the club with is that the club are trying very stringently to create and stick to a wage structure. A wage structure. Now, why are they trying to do that? It's not as if they can't afford to pay all sorts of silly wages left, right, and centre. In fact, that's what Todd Bowley tried to do when he was first the sporting director, when we had that sort of emergency boardroom sporting director stroke transfer market. He said, look, let's just strong arm it like Roman used to do, go get it, pay them anything. But now this is a visionary stance. Why are they taking this stance? This summer, clubs have a restriction placed upon them in terms of profit and sustainability rules. Next summer, then is the algorithm which introduces a wage cap for everybody based on your revenue stroke an algorithm integrated with the lowest club revenue in the Premier League. Nobody wants to say that. They just bring their own sentiments and start demonizing the ownership. Look, I don't want Gallagher to go. I love Conor Gallagher. I've made that abundantly clear. I think he's a very good player in his own right. I think he's Chelsea's fittest player, and not least to mention, he's a homegrown player. But I suspect he wants the club to go outside of the wage structure. Now, the club have looked at this and they have decided, okay, Conor Gallagher, for whatever reason, clear for, they will, these are data figures guys. They will say, well, Conor Gallagher, we're not really happy to pay you quote unquote. It's not really, I'm just using an example. We don't want to pay you 150K a week and put you at parity with Caicedo. We want to pay you 100K a week in your new contract. And he will look at it and say, well, I don't see what Caicedo does that I don't do for the club and more. So I deserve that parity. And then it comes down to the sporting directors. Now, you have to understand two things here. One, they're not ready to pay everybody at that sort of rate. Number one, they've made their sums, they've looked at the books, and they've seen that only a certain number of players will be in that category, and they go into the marquee. Now, whether rightly or wrongly he feels he's worth that and more, whether other clubs want to pay him that or more, they've looked at it and thought, well, without him, and if he refuses to comply, will the club be able to move forward in good shape? These are part of the tough decisions that have to be made sometimes when you want to create a direction and a discipline within your financial structure. So, if he's sold, in my view, it is bad. I would personally amend things to accommodate him. But if he's sold, he's sold. So it's as simple as that. I'm as pragmatic as I am as loyal to him. If he really is not prepared to fit into what the club wants, he has to go. Nobody's bigger than the club. The club is the entity. And if the club says this, if you like it, you stay. If you don't, there's the door. And once they start showing players who's boss here, who you are working for, they set the tone and not the other way round. The happier and the more stable and financially on and off the pitch the club is going to be going forward. So let's stop all this, oh, Todd Bowley, oh, so and so. This is all about practicalities. And I will continue to support them until I see that things aren't working. They're taking some tough decisions. One decision I can see quite clearly they've taken, at least at the moment, is that they're not going to be pushed around to start spending over 100K this summer. I mean, 100 million this summer. They did it last summer for good reason with Caicedo, and they did it last January, the January before the last January transfer window with Enzo. Now they're going to dig their heels in. They're trying to reclaim some of the financial impetus and not put the impression out there to everybody and anybody that, oh, if Chelsea want this player, let's just put some extra zeros on it and they're going to go and pay. And so they've made this decision or taken this position with Osimhen. I am 100% behind this position. Napoli need to bring down that price or nobody's going to go for him. And certainly not Chelsea. Chelsea don't care. If anyone else wants him, fine. But for us to pay, what, 113 million? Why? For what? He's not really in that bracket, and we're not really everybody's cash cow. So that's my take. Connor, sign a new contract and stay. I wish it's the case.
He
But
has to
if
do
he
what's best for him. Let's accept that.
well, exactly. If he feels that's not where what he wants to do, we don't always have to turn around and blame it on the club. I think that's the bottom line of what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to look at the player. Do you want to fit into what we have to offer? And if they don't, fine, bye. It happened with Mason Mount. It happened to Kai Havertz. He wanted more money. And, fine. Nobody should be holding us to ransom. That's my point.
Yeah, players come, players go. Again, if the manager wants Gallagher to stay, I think he stays. But the moment Mauricio Pochettino left, rumors started flying around that one of the reasons why he left was that he wants Conor Gallagher to stay and the owners don't. I don't believe that one
I
second.
don't believe it either.
Yeah, but that's
Don't believe it.
one moment. I'll come back to the panel. We have Roger Dodger in the house. I don't know whether he's back in the US. So if I get to Cali, I'm gonna hit him up so we can go chill in one of those fine bars there.
Hola,
Glenn.
Roger. So,
Hola,
sorry, coach.
gracias.
Just before you let me just have a little dig at Roger because he's abandoned me. I thought we were brothers, but Roger just left me
Calm
on
down, Bobby. Calm
platforms.
down, Bobby.
You know,
Everything will be all right.
right?
Hola, Poppy.
I take it, coach has saved you today because I was gonna get upset that you just left me on my own like this.
I'm
Uh,
quite sure Roger is in the States right now because I remember when what he told me in one of the shows.
uh,
Um, Breaking news: Napoli has hired Conte. They've hired Antonio Conte as a new manager, and rumors are already a day ago or so saying that they want Romelu Lukaku. But let's see. I am Glenn Tennis in the House of Legend. Always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I am looking for the sanctions against Liverpool. Has anyone seen them? Big up to you two. I have 20-ish minutes to enjoy the show. Hope everyone has been doing good. We've been good. Any there above ground is a good day, and we miss you, bro. But we understand you're busy, and bills don't pay themselves, and hopefully you're dealing with your situation well. And knowing you, you find ways you can say to enjoy whatever situation you find yourself in. But always nice to see you, bro. Yeah. Do you mean Okay, let me just leave it at that. But Glenn, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to see you. A lot saying hello. And Paul Crossley, I hope I did not butcher your name. Yep, I think that's correct. He's saying someone talking since new owners made some mistakes, but they wanted the best for the club and have got more things right. Heston, irrespective of what you think of them, whether you think they're the best, they're not perfect. And I can count how many mistakes I think they've made, but it's irrelevant. And I think I'm one of those. I would tell you, I think we have one of the best owners in world football. Only time will tell, and people will look back and say, "Oh, they were actually being proactive. They saw things going that direction." Vic is saying the discipline within the financial structure, the wage bill is the second highest in the Premier League, and yeah, and people are saying just give a player A, B, C, whatever they want. Imagine how high
Exactly.
it would be have we not sold Mason Mount and get and, and agreed to pay him how much he wanted.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz,
Havertz.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Kovacic signs a new contract and gets a higher pay than he was earning at the time. Imagine that. So yeah, but thank you for bringing that. I know you're up to date all the time, Vic. I appreciate you bringing this up. They are wasting money on average players, while the city wage bill is at 423 million. Yeah, so they're doing something to bring that down, and we're still complaining. We're still telling them give players what they want. The fault of the owners and the massive player exit was because the way they started did not show a clear direction. And do I blame them? You know how the handover process. Let me not just go to the extent of saying the handover process. How the whole thing went, this change of ownership, how the whole thing went. I don't want to blame them. There was a lot of confusion everywhere. Senior players were not clear. Yeah, and not their fault. There were other priorities at the time, making sure. I'm not sure how else to explain it, but I know you're a smart guy. I know you understand. Ngale is saying plus Gallagher is one of the most sellable assets we have. In my view, Chalobah will be a bigger loss. I think Chalobah stays, and everything comes down to what the manager wants. If the manager tells them he wants Gallagher to stay, I think they will try. Uh, to get him to put pen to paper for a new contract. I don't think everything, yeah, which means simply means
Chalobah has
everything
a
doesn't
bigger
come down
length
to
of
what the
contract.
manager wants. Gallagher would want to stay.
Chalobah has a bigger length of contract. I think his
Yeah,
contract is up to 2027, so there's
yeah,
no
something
rush.
like that. So Gallagher would want to stay, but now he has offers, and as I said, he's tested the forbidden fruit. Just as a case of Rudiger, he wanted to sign a new contract. Even Andreas Christensen, they've agreed to sign a new contract and realize if I leave as a free agent, I get a lot more money. And that was when I told people, that's it. They're not going to look back. So Gallagher, his case is now that he becomes a free agent. I think clubs will offer him a lot more, probably more, you can argue maybe nearly twice as much of us what Chelsea would be willing to offer him, and he would take it. The club's love is secondary right now because it's about you can say security. He will always love Chelsea, so yeah, keep dropping the likes. Yeah, Roger is here. He's on the panel. I know we missed him, but I understand he's been busy. Big up, Galadinho, and he say the wages bill went from 340 to 404. They mess up. How did they? We're not even paying anything close to what we were paying. I think everything comes down to the players we sign. Yeah, but whether you think they mess up, they're trying to cut that down. Even yeah, even if in fact they messed up, I'm not. Look, financially, I usually don't like to get into that conversation. My point is, even if they mess up, yeah, they try not to make it worse. If I hope you can agree with that right now. And Alex DS saying good afternoon to everyone who is following. Alex, okay, following you from Liberia, a regular follower of your show as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Hear your opinion matters. My West African bro, I hope you're doing well. Pep also buys average players and makes them winners. Okay, that's a good point. Good day to you too, Mr. Oyedikachi. Let's bring in Roger Dodger, the chairman of the Goalkeepers Union. The what's the language I'm going to use? He's on a life term as the lawyer of every manager that comes in, tries to defend them objectively, I have to say. But Roger, big up to you. I hope you've been good. Thank you so much for finding the time to be with us this particular morning. We've talked about, let me use a more specific language. We've talked about Woolly Mammoth. I think that will get you up to speed quickly. We talked about William Mammoth, and right now we're talking about Conor Gallagher's situation. Let's get your 10 cents, Roger.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hola, everybody.
Gracias,
Hold
senor.
on, hold on.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. By the way, I need to say congratulations on passing 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we got there. We got there, bro. Thank you so much for all your contributions, Roger.
Oh, not at all.
There's no way I could have been able to do it alone.
You probably would have got more, mate. Listen, really impressive, very impressive. I'm not sure whether you
Still going
watched.
to get more.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure whether you watched the England versus Bosnia-Herzegovina match a few days ago. Please fast forward if you haven't the first half. That was walking pace. That was really painful to watch. It was ridiculous. But the second half, I watched, and I predominantly only looked at the way Gallagher played. Yeah, he's playing against a very youthful, inexperienced, small-sized team. Not physically, but I'm talking about population-wise. I get that. However, he looks a completely different player from when the season first started. Watch him. He's so confident. He's one-touch passing, turning on the ball, being press resistant. Listen, is he Ballon d'Or material? No, of course not. No one is saying that. But I think,
And you cannot say he's not. He will. There's no way to tell. We cannot just say he's not.
no, realistically, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. He's a very good player. A player that I believe with this new Maresca manager / head coach, he employs predominantly a 4-3-3 formation. I wish it was a 4-4-3, but a 4-3-3 formation. So you're going to have two number 8s with one pivot for the most part. Obviously, that can change. When you have an inverted right back or left back, I get that. But this is where Connor excelled for Crystal Palace 3 seasons ago, was it? I'd have to look.
I think it's 3 seasons ago, and we always reference performances at Crystal Palace. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, he was a number 8, and I forget how many assists he had, but I think he scored 11 goals. Don't quote me if I'm wrong.
And some of those goals were delicious goals, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw about a week or two ago, all of Conor Gallagher's goals he's ever scored as a professional in the Premier League. There's some beautiful goals. They're not tap-ins by any stretch of the imagination. And so that in conjunction with his output off the ball, his pressing, his physicality, could he score more goals? Could he provide more assists? Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. My only thing, listen, if he wants to leave, fine, I have no problem. Do we need to sell him? Probably. I don't know. I'm not privy to the club's finances. You hear that it's necessary, and in the same breath from another channel, you hear it's not. But one thing I will say is my only concern is if he is indeed moved on, I'm really concerned about the midfield's health, because Lavia has yet to prove he can stay healthy, only playing 32 minutes. Now, if he can indeed stay healthy and put in 40, 50 games this year, so be it. Then you know what, and it's not a drop off. Then I don't hold a shall we say bias for him staying or leaving. But I think the fact that he's proven, I think he played in 50 out of 51 games for us this year. I mean, that speaks volumes. The fact that we were so depleted all season long, and he was one of the very few standouts that were available on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
I would say him,
Didn't get injured.
Yeah, him, Disassi, and and the other midfielder from Venezuela. And that speaks volumes to me. It really does. So, listen, I don't know whether other midfielders can step in and fill the breach. One doesn't know, but I think if we do sell him, it better be under the, shall we say, confirmation that we can provide a healthy squad. And there's no guarantee to that, obviously, but it's like, this is one point. If we do sell him and we start to experience these same bloody issues, then I'm going to be not a very happy camper.
I just
I
DM'd you, Coach Fabrizio, on Gallagher. It doesn't. I mean, there's a possibility he goes nowhere this season, and he might just sit it out until he's on a free next season.
Excuse me.
Because the club's going to ask for in excess of 50 million, and there's no negotiations taking place yet at all. So all these, you see, this is where I get angry with the so-called fan base. They're making stuff up.
Yeah.
Villa's talking to Chelsea and all that. No, they're not. Nobody's talking to anybody at the moment.
It's clickbait stuff, Bobby.
Well, exactly. It's very annoying as well.
It's a silly season.
Yeah. And we're not even at the door yet, but go ahead, Roger, with what you were saying.
No, Bobby, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was just sorry.
No, Bobby cut
you
you
were
off.
talking.
He has to apologize. No, Bobby cut you off. Bobby has to say he's sorry.
No.
You come from me. But I did. I was apologizing. I cut you off. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I just sent the DM to Coach. That was all.
Okay, I'll check it. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, but Bobby's entirely right. Listen, is he the best midfielder? No, but I tell you what, he's Premier League proven.
He's unique in his approach, and his approach is important.
Yeah, he's industrious. He does a lot of things off the ball really well, and I think with the ball he's improving. And as I said, if you watch his season 3 seasons ago at Palace, he was very effective with the ball. So listen, I'm not sure how many goals he scored last season. 3 or 4, something around there. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got the stats in front of me, so I'm sorry.
But he's got a good assist. He has a good assist number.
Sure. Listen, we can safely say that virtually all our players should have a higher assist record based on the freaking amount of goals that we miss tap-ins. So when you consider the XG that we created, I think Caicedo has been amazing. Cesar Casadei, Carney, Carney needs to stay healthy. Then you've got Santos. Can he fill that role, in a rotation? Don't forget, you're going to need a minimum of 2 players per position. So you're going to need 6 midfielders at the very least, 7 or 8 probably. Does Leslie stay or is he loaned out? Can he stay healthy? I don't know. These are the questions. The midfield is not settled.
Wouldn't it be right to say, Roger? So I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be right to? You see, I apologize when I cut you off, but Bobby doesn't.
Me no English.
Of course, you're not. Wouldn't it be right to say a lot of our players finished well?
Yeah, for the most part, but that's their job. I don't mean to sound rude, but they should be doing well each and every game for the most part. Listen, it's a hard sport. Most professional athletes, regardless if it's tiddlywinks or football, it's not easy. So, our expectations are somewhat unrealistic at times, or mostly. Yeah, I concede, yes, that this team did finish well, and a lot of players did finish well. There were very few disappointments other than the players that were missing because of injuries on a consistent basis, and we've discussed this ad nauseum. I don't know. Lavia, to me, is the key. If Lavia can stay healthy and I have no doubt whatsoever that if Lavia is healthy and is able to start, let's say, 40 plus games, I think he's going to be sensational. I have no doubt about that. But it's can Carney Chukwuemeka, can Leslie Ugochukwu, can Santos? I don't know. That's the thing. Listen, we may have another surprise. He may be expendable. if we can raise 50 million, he may go on a walk. You're right, Bobby. He may say, you know what, I don't want to. I want to stay here, but they're not willing to. He may walk, and then that'll be a lot of egg on our faces. I think how we handle this is important. And the fan base does have to understand that this is a business first and foremost, and it's imperative that our finances are in order. I'm not disputing that, because he's a commodity. That's all he is, literally on the spreadsheet, on the accounts. All of these players are commodities, assets that depreciate each year. Let's not kid ourselves. This isn't.
To be honest, I learned to use that term from you, Roger.
Yeah, this isn't 1906 where you got probably a shilling a game, whatever it was. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. These owners are putting in serious amount of dinero. It's monopoly money. Let's be honest. And so, yes, it's important that the ownerships understand the importance of the fan base, but it's also important that the fan base understands that it's a business also, a business that coincidentally entertains us and is something that we love. So there's that crossover, and there's that underpinning where we must understand, and respect across the board, by the way, in all aspects of what's transpiring. Doesn't mean to say we have to agree with a lot of the moves, but I think we should be supportive. And you know what? It's going to be a very interesting off-season in so many positions, not least, of course, because we have a new administration coaching-wise. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat. We have a few items more to discuss. Let's see. But Roger, thank you once again for joining us. And Glenn is saying, and this is a delicious comment. Glenn is saying, selling a corner is out of our hands. We can only express our respective opinions and emotions. And I agree. Sorry for remixing your comment there. Before and after, I would say if we sell him to Sports, I hope Ball's next Uber Eats driver gets a flat tire.
That's funny.
I like that one. Vic is saying, which is the point, Coach? They are far into their backsides and need to fix up by selling one of the most performing players. And listen, I think, irrespective of what they think of Conor Gallagher, if the incoming manager says he wants him to stay, that he's going to be important to achieve what he's promised them he's going to achieve, I think he stays. It's not going to be easy, though, because I've said this before. We are at a point where Gallagher, whether he stays or leave, is up to him. Because if he has the upper hand right now. He has the upper hand. If anything, him staying comes down to him agreeing to what the club has to offer him. Yeah, and I think it will be difficult. I think he will be the club agreeing to what he's asking before he stays. So it's become complex. And I said that last year. It said once beyond January, I was sure he stays beyond January. But beyond January, it gets complicated and it's common sense. His contract situation comes into play. But Vic, thank you so much. That's why I like exchanging. You can say, I would say debate. I get it, you're not on the panel, but I enjoy reading your comments because, yeah, you come from angles that get me thinking, and then present a more sensible response. Santos is more technical than Gallagher. I think for me right now, that's just an opinion. That's just an opinion. In all honesty, as much as I'll tell you, Gallagher isn't my favorite player at Chelsea, I disagree with this. Not yet. I'm not going to say I'm not going to agree that's the case. Again, when he develops his physicality over the next season or two, he will be easily ahead of Gallagher. So right now, you're practically saying right now he isn't. I don't know. How did Gallagher look under Potter, who was a possession-based coach? If I remember, we all wanted him out. I have never at any time preached that I want him out. There's a way I like to present my argument because I know everything comes down to what the manager wants. Yeah, it's as simple as that. And I'm going to say this again. A lot of people are saying that he will struggle under Moresca. I don't know if he can simplify his approach, get the ball, release it, and if there's always an extra man to make it easier for him to release the ball, he stays, and the manager can utilize his industry plus him deciding to simplify things and not try to do too much. He survives. It's about you, the manager, finding a way to use a player. If the manager feels like his industry, and we heard he's on holiday, but he's been watching all the games we played. Most of the games, I don't know whether all, but he was watching games we played under Mauricio Pochettino. So chances are he looks at it and learns, I can actually use this guy. I would say that. So we don't know. A lot of people didn't know he was going to play that much under Mauricio Pochettino. And had Pochettino stayed, even if Lavia comes back, the question will be, okay, Gallagher starts. Who comes in next? Other players. You decide. You pick a choice. And I told people that. But we don't know yet. We'll find out. Let's see what happens. And like Glenn said, we can only speculate. And Siaka is saying, let's see what the future holds with the Gallagher story. Talking about it will make our minds pop. Not me. I'm just gonna see your comments there and feel bad for for some people how they take things way too seriously, in my opinion. And yeah, but we'll see. Gallagher looks good on the pitch. Rock and roll football, and we are going back to possession-based football, coach, which takes away Connor's strengths. And I've explained to you how he can survive on that. On the new manager, if the manager decides, you know what, I can make do with his energy, and then help him adapt to how I approach the game. Keep it simple. Get it, release it, get it, release it, and he can actually do a lot more than that. Maybe all he needs is just confidence. Towards the end of the season, he shows actually he can beat the press. He wasn't perfect at it, but he did it. For me, actually, he finished the season with a better dribble success rate than Raheem Sterling, and I'm sure Sterling doesn't get as much stick as him. And after saying this, I will go back to remind you, he's not even my favorite Chelsea player. I'm just trying to be as objective as I can. I think our owners agreed not to take, let me see that, not to take any amount from the clubs or for 10 years or something. So the assumption that they are trying to get money to fill their pockets. I think you heard when we discussed that, people use that term for profit loosely. I think somebody explained better. It's still profit because no tax and everything. But who was that? I think why didn't I highlight that comment? Very delicious comment indeed. Well said, Bobby. Just to add, Bali talked about only wanting players and that long-term contract, which English players want to be their prime and being paid the same wages they made years before. I'm not sure I understand that, and nothing personal there. Is just maybe the way you phrase it. Maresca plays high press, 1v1 defense. We don't need Connor to eat up ground on the Maresca system defensively. It's not up to us. It's up to the manager to decide what he does to him. Roger, a lot of people saying hello to you there. Eddie Lout for Blue, Aston Villa are interested in signing Chelsea's Conor Gallagher this summer, according to Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, I've seen that report too. But yeah, but you just okay bringing that up. So and here's the thing: that's not to say for certain he leaves. Chances are they find common ground and he puts pen to paper for a new contract, and boom, everything changes. But it's looking like he's most likely leaving. And I'm not gonna say for certain whether he stays or leaves, just like I did before January, because yeah, it's become even more complicated right now. Villa representatives have actually expressed their interest to Chelsea and Gallagher's representatives. Yeah, but beyond that, now we don't know. Just because we give 7-year contract doesn't mean we won't give us a rise. Okay, after 2 years, if you are overperforming, and yeah, if you're doing well, you get a pay rise. Even Enzo Fernandez got one last year immediately. Not even a year into his contract, he got one. I think so. Gallagher is a good player and might reach levels in rock and roll football. But we are trying to play tiki taka. he doesn't suit the style. He might learn, but it doesn't bring the best of his strengths. That's you can say that's a balanced argument. That's a balanced argument. A delicious comment, and I like that as such. Yeah, Mafia, good comments from you. Chimera, you're going to that place. Roman left this team with bad books. This is what the new directors had to get rid of to start over. Look at all the players they were able to sell. Yeah, I think give them credit. And Chelsea Godfathers in the house. My understanding is Gallagher's salary demand is much higher than Chelsea's ceiling. So with 1 year left, he must be sold. Similarly to Mount, from a business standpoint, it's all business for all parties concerned, irrespective of how you see it. But the concerning thing is that people out there aren't going to consider the fact that Gallagher will go for what's best for him, and the club will offer him what they feel, what they can afford. And if it doesn't work, they will go their separate ways. And Gallagher will still love Chelsea. It's as simple as that. If he truly loves Chelsea, he will still love Chelsea, irrespective of how you can say whether he ends up leaving or staying. I get that it is business, but equally remember that for the player, it is equally a lively. Yeah, woo, that's a delicious comment right there. So Gallagher will do what's best for him. If he can get 150, 200 from other clubs and Chelsea are offering him 120, that's a huge, the disparity is huge. He would take it. And if I were Gallagher, I would take the higher pay. It's simple. When you look for jobs, if you have multiple offers on the table, sometimes it takes, you could say, maybe the sort of job that will get you to move to another state or another country for you to refuse a higher pay. But within the same country, yeah, duh, you take the offer that's higher. It's simple. But people will not pay attention to that. They'll still come back to blaming the club. Gallagher has his strengths, but he's not prime Kante. Who says he cannot be? We can improve on Gallagher, bring back Santos, and build a Casadei. Let's see what the club wants to do. And Humphrey Kaliki saying no Chelsea would like Gallagher. Okay, I hope but Humphrey, nice to see you. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Enjoy yourself. Feel at home. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Coach, you say this all the time. So, who is your favorite Chelsea player? I'm not answering this. I'm not answering this question right now. Wow. I'm not. I don't think. Let me just say this. I don't think I've loved any Chelsea player as much as I loved Eden Hazard. Kante too. So I haven't taken my time to say one specifically. To pick one, just leave it there, man. Leave me alone. Connor has the best defensive stats. Yep. But he also one of the worst offensive outputs. And but let's stick with that. Let's stick with that team. I think he's one of those with the top assist numbers at Chelsea. So he did well. As bad as we were, it doesn't matter whether the bar is low or not. He finished the season as one of our top performers, irrespective of what you think of him. And I'm going to say that I can go to that place when I. Thank you. You do know you live there. Gallagher is a squad player. He's a fighter, but not convinced about his technical ability. That's you. If CFC gets a prize, he should go. No sentiment. Let's see what the club does. And like Glenn said, we can talk about it all we want. Everything. The club will decide what they want to do with it. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. How many likes? 58 likes and 119 people watching, 44 on YouTube. We can do better than 58 likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Tosin Adarabioyo has completed his Chelsea medical, so certainly an official announcement will follow soon. He's an excellent player, and I'm glad we signed him as a free agent at the age of 26. Wow. And Newcastle wanted him, but he chose us. Some are saying because of Enzo Moresca, he's played under him youth at youth level at Man City. But beyond that, Tosin is such an intelligent player, excellent passing range. Uses his long leg to a great great effect. He's excellent aerially too. Good tackler, really reads the game very well. And with one issue which I think can easily be sorted out, he often leaves his line to intervene in the middle area. Doesn't leave all the work of breaking down opposition play for the 2 6s or a single six. That can leave a space in behind if he misses out on the tackle he's gone for. But I think if he's on the same wavelength with his teammates, once he leaves his line to go do that, they can cover up for him. Roger, you've not been available for reasons you know. I hope everything is okay on your end. We haven't heard you talk about Tosin Adarabioyo. By the way, the name, I know the state. OYO is a state in Nigeria. So somebody in the chat that's Yoruba, one of my Nigeria brothers, says the meaning is that he's as beautiful as that particular state in question. But let's say you, Roger, what do you think of the signing of Tosin? Because it's imminent. His arrival is imminent, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe he have his fitness test yesterday, or was it today?
Yeah, completed. Tosin Adarabioyo has completed his Chelsea medical, according to Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, so it's basically 99% done. All he has to do is put pen to paper. I mean, it's possible we could have another Williams scenario, but I doubt it. For all intents and purposes, it's a done deal. Well, let's be honest. Until they sign, it's never really done, is it?
I think we learned that from the Williams case, like you explained. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Even Mikel, who took pictures with Alex Ferguson, holding the club's and all that. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, didn't William though already finish his medical and was basically hijacked on the way, leaving the medical to go to Chelsea instead of actually going to White Hart Lane?
From Mourinho, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. He's one of my favorite players ever, by the way. But I watched the compilation of him, and what I was most interested in, and I understand it's only a snippet of him with the ball. I get that. There's far more that's important, on compilations. I understand it's very misleading. But what it did show me more specifically was his aerial ability. He's dominant aerially.
I knew you were going to love him because he scores too. But go ahead.
He's technically gifted aerially, both defensively and offensively. It's not so much getting your head to the ball, coach. It's the fact that if you look at his technique, it's like Silva-esque. He's very technical.
Timing is also
aerially,
important in terms of aerial.
He's able to twist his neck muscles and should we say guide the ball on target. He's a natural header of the ball. You can see. So this bodes well for me going forward, and obviously defensively. I think he's 6'5". He's no midget, that's for sure. So this to me is important. Yeah, he's got very long legs, got a very long gait when running, and he's able to stick his leg in and get tackles. But I need to watch him 90 minutes at a time for 5-10 games to really have an opinion. But from what I've seen, he looks an upgrade on virtually every centre back that we have aerially. I'll be honest with you, because that's been my biggest concern. Hopefully he proves me right.
And I wasn't paying attention, Roger.
He continues to dominate aerially. Because to me, that's important. Now, how good he is with the ball, I'm not so sure. I'd have to see more of him.
Tosin is excellent on the ball, Roger. He is excellent on the ball.
Yeah, I've seen snippets of him, but as I said,
I've watched him 90. I've watched him. I watched their game against City. That after that game, people were. I think the post-game interview, they asked Pep if he regrets letting him go, and he said he's doing well, but no, he doesn't regret. He will never tell you that's the case.
Right.
But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I've watched Fulham a couple of times this year, but did I pay special attention to Tosin? No, I did not. So it'll be disingenuous of me to say I have. So listen, he looks like the real deal. And the fact that we got him at such a steal, I believe 0, I don't think he gets better than that. I'm not sure how much we're going to pay him. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be too much. And listen, this is a very good
They're saying that,
acquisition.
that Newcastle actually offered them more money.
Yeah, well, the fact that he's in Southwest Six, he's literally on Naval. He put, both stadiums are literally like a mile apart. It's spitting distance, so to speak. So he doesn't have to change locations, change homes, etc., comfort zone, etc. It all adds up. Plus, it's we're not a bad club with history, so why wouldn't he want to come with us, join the project? He's how old? 26 or 25, I believe.
26.
26. So, I think he turns 27 soon, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what, though? Guess what? He's going to be an upgrade, at least aerially. I look forward to watching him play. I'm not sure about his health record, though. I haven't seen the stats on
I
that.
think he stayed, from what I know so far, I think he stays sweet.
He's durable. Good. That's excellent. Yeah, we need big bodies, and we need big bodies with capabilities aerially. This is one of my biggest concerns, and it has been for the last few years, and he ticks a lot of boxes for me. So I'm happy, very pleased.
I'm happy with the signing to experience, because that fixes you can say the departure of Thiago Silva, and he's well equipped to take on the Thiago Silva mantle and do well. Yeah, Roger, Brighton fan there saying hello. Gavin, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, bro. I triggered the command for you. There shouldn't be any space between our exclamation mark and the GFC there. And Siaka is saying, oh, coach, how good is Tosin? He's good. He's very, very good, really. I think he has a starting place. Now, so the question would be, and Maresca knows him well, who else comes in? I also think Enzo Maresca wouldn't mind having Gallagher as an option. I've said that even as a starter, but it's up to him. We don't know what's going to happen. But Chelsea are not paying over 100 for a player that the coach might be like, might want to keep as an option. But we'll find out. Anthony Okonkwo reminds me of the TV series then in Nigeria, Things Fall Apart, featuring Peter Ducci and the others. But that's my rate. Tosin is an excellent player. Pep didn't want him to leave. Yep, I remember that too. Will be our top passer from the back, aside Colwell. And Bidashile also has a good passing range. For a free transfer, it's a no-brainer. And he ran down his contract. I think they tried to keep him. They tried to get him to sign another contract. He knows he can do better than, you can say, remain at Fulham. And he did well for himself. Roger and his neck muscle.
Thank you.
And his neck muscles again. I knew you were going to say something. Tamida Oluwan recommend me pick up, guys. Greetings to you too. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Mafia. Tosin is 6'5" and recorded the fastest sprint speed for all CBs in the Premier League. Wow,
Who's that?
He's that good. He's seriously that good. Wow. Okay. I don't know. No, I'm talking about his pace. I didn't know. I don't know that he's that quick. Really, you got my point there, Roger.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know he's that quick given how tall he is. But it's a good thing to know that he's quick too. Big up to you too. I've triggered that comment for you. I hope it comes up soon. And everybody go check out GFC Gavin's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. The aim is to grow, more importantly, to grow Chelsea fan base. And Tobago is in the house. Tobago, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And let me say, Tobago, big up to you, Tobago. I hope you're doing well. Bass, all of you, Tobago, letness is greatness. Yes, more likes, people. More likes. We have 62 likes, and we can do way better than that. We've been averaging 100 likes per show, but it doesn't look like we get to 100 today. Anything else here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let me see. Yep, go check out Tobago's YouTube channel, people. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I think he's getting closer to 400 subscribers. And what's Dante doing in the Gulag today? Why aren't you holding the guy? Yep. I think he joined in a bit. People, let's head to Boho Grow and get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Anything else to address here? Big up to you once more. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom in a bit. You think we don't know Mabas? We know. Big up to you too. And Judy saying Tosin is a London boy and does not even need to change anything. Are you doing the tapping on Roger? Stamford Bridge is located in Fulham. It's easier to overlook. I think for those of us who don't know where, I know you've lived in London, so for those of us who don't know where the cities are, and you can say what club is in what city, but thank you for explaining. GFC Gavin, thank you so much for the donation, bro. But you know you don't have to do that. I appreciate all your support. More importantly, and again, we'll always do whatever we can to help you grow. Everyone go and subscribe to Chelsea FC Jingles. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers. We're family here. Let's keep growing, people. I'm alive. I didn't die. Please be careful how you say it. Anything else? Keep dropping the likes on the show, people. The likes do go away. Do go a long way. Better. Yep. Let's see. All right. Let's see the next item we have lined up here. Give me a second here. We have this particular item. Tottenham are preparing to make an offer for Conor Gallagher. That's according to Sammy. I don't know who that is, and I don't want to believe this anyway until we hear that they've made one. But let's see what happens. So Chelsea want to sign Michael Olise this summer. Olise and Maresca right wing, Mudryk and Sterling left wing. Two options on either side of the pitch. And some are actually already saying that we started negotiating with this camp. I think Fabrizio Romano is reporting that that's not the truth. But I want him. We can have him. We can still have Maresca, and I've changed my attitude towards whether a club should bring in one player or not. Listen, if we can bring in player B and he's better than player A that we have within our ranks, I don't mind. That's why we're Chelsea, and that's what big clubs do to continue growing. Phil, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Sorry I missed your name there. Apologies. Yep, the likes. Why? Just pretend you didn't hear that. I'm a human being. I'm not pre-programmed to say them. I process it every time I say it. So yeah, I make mistakes. Just go away, man. Leave me alone. Let's him join the panel if he wants to. Let's see. With Albania, there's a good player in there. Okay, enjoy, bro. Bills don't pay themselves, so please pay attention at work. We don't want you to lose your job. I don't know. Interesting, Olise. Anybody want to talk about that? Roger, are you interested in talking about that, or should we move on to the next item?
No, he's a wonderfully gifted, left-footed player, isn't he? I don't know. Don't we have enough players? Really?
I don't think we if you count those out on loan, you can say we have enough. But if he's better, if he can give us more than those on loan, let's get him. That's my opinion. But go ahead with what you're saying.
So what does this mean for Hutchinson? Is he moved on then? Because he's got a big upside also.
Chelsea have decided, according to Fabrizio Romano, to sell Omari Hutchinson.
Right.
Stuttgart are interested. Ajax are interested. One other club, Feyenoord, are interested. And some Premier League clubs, according to
So we sell him for 25-30 million. I think if we can hold on to him, I think he's going to be a star. But okay, so be it. You know what? We have a short turnaround, quick profit. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. 25-30 million. Okay.
Did he join us as a free agent? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yes, he did. Free from Arsenal.
Wow. And here's the thing. I think he's signed a smart contract. He didn't sign a long-term contract.
Right? Yeah. He's
got like so he wanted to be sure if there's no place for me, I'll be leaving. And that's the case now. So if there's no place for him, it looks like there's no place for him, which is why we're open to selling. We've decided we want to sell him. But go ahead with what you're saying, Rod.
So is he going to be coming back into the camp and see what going on the American tour, see what he can do? Maybe he impresses. And perhaps the coaching staff says, you know what, I want to keep him. He's part of the rotation. I don't know. But let's say he's moved on. Okay, we have in my opinion, thus far, I think that Palmer is best suited on the right as opposed to being played centrally. Just my opinion. Now, I know we're probably...
I mean, it's a solid argument because, yeah, he
He's
played
been more
there.
productive.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I know we have Madueke, but that's where you have a rotation, right? To either come on after 70 minutes, etc.,
Yeah.
or start the occasional domestic game. I get that. But, if we bring an Olise in, that means, I don't know, listen, we just have a plethora of right-sided, left-footed players that can dominate. Now, because we're going to be employing a 4-3-3 predominantly, a lot of people have said he can play on the right side of a midfield as a number 8, a deeper line, which he can maybe influence the game more by pinging the balls. And we've seen him do that where he's actually dropped into a number 8 position, playing as a wide forward, if you remember. He does that quite often. And he does influence the game, especially pinging diagonals. I get that. So perhaps you can have Olise up front with the Palmer on the right side behind him with Reece James as an overlap. Talk about a strong right side. Wow, that's sexy right there. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that then. I don't know though. So does that mean we have, Caicedo, Enzo and Palmer as our midfield? With rotation, with maybe Lavia, etc. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Don't forget, we've got Carney also. He's a number 8. This is the problem. We have so many number 8s. So fitting Palmer deeper in, because we already have a plethora of number 8s. We have hardly any number 6s, let's be honest. Now, does this formation suit our personnel? Yeah, it does, for the most part. It does. I'm not sure tactically, I know Carlito will agree that 4-2-3-1 is a superior formation. It all depends. It can morph into a 4-1-4-1 or a 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-4-2. We've seen them do that in game management. So we could be dynamic, but I don't know. I mean, and listen, it is an upgrade. There's no doubt about it over Madueke, maybe even Palmer. But how do we utilize Palmer? Theoretically, I heard that we could, if we reach the final of every competition this season and play 38 games, it's 70 games this next season. So, yeah, you're going to need rotation. There's going to be injuries, suspensions, etc. I get that. But still, is it... I personally think we should be going for someone on the left side, like an Eze. I personally think I would hope that Sterling has moved
rumors
on.
Actually, we are looking at both Eze and Olise.
I would prefer, or we have, assuming we get a Sesko or whomever, or even Fofana comes back from his loan spell and excels. You can have Jackson playing on the left with maybe swapping with, what do you call it, Mudryk, and also Jackson can play up front also as an alternate. I don't know. We seem to have a plethora of very solid midfielders and solid forwards, with the exception of 1 or 2 people. Mudryk is raw. Madueke is less raw, but still needs to up his game. Listen, I have no objection to upgrading. Like if we bring in Eze and Olise, are these upgrades at those current positions? I think we can safely assume yes. They are young, but my only hesitation is the fact that they're somewhat injury prone. So in the last season, they missed a lot of games. That's my only. But then again, you can say that about every Chelsea player for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Tayo is saying, who is the most realistic left back option if we get rid of Chilwell? I'm not sure. I don't have any in mind. I have to be honest with you. Let's see what else we have
So
here.
can I ask you, Coach?
Sorry?
Sorry to interject. Can I ask you very briefly, if we do indeed get an Olise, hypothetically, so where would you put Palmer?
I mean,
And Carney.
He's played. Look, yes, in Roger. What I pay attention to is the fact that he will be. Again, we've been playing with a fluid approach, which means he can come central,
Yeah,
while someone
I
is
agree.
drifted to the right. I think that's going to be even more the case under Maresca. But I'll keep him start him on the right hand side, but you see him central on the left hand side. Depends, and you see him deeper too. So it's difficult to say really. I wouldn't mind him as a 10. It's fluid. That's the most important thing for me. It will
Well,
almost
yeah,
always
but
be a
there
fluid
is no
approach.
really that we have wide tens in a 4-3-3. You have
Yeah,
a 6, 2 8s, and basically 2 wide tens and a number 9. It's like
yeah.
there is no, unless you use a 4-1-4-1, right? But he doesn't do that. So he actually, Moresco employs a box midfield, if you notice, you know. And so, having said that, it's like my concerns are for Carney's development and Palmer. Where do we? Yeah, I get the fluidity. I get that. I agree with you
Mhm,
100%.
mhm.
But you know, and I don't want to sound like I'm objecting to any upgrade because I'm not. I would welcome them, but I think it may stifle Carney and maybe I'm not sure what it does for Palmer. Do you see my
But
concerns?
should we be concerned about uh, the incoming players stifling the development of the players we have, or
If
should
they're
we
an
be
upgrade,
concerned the
yeah.
progress we're going to make?
Um, Not to the extent that we don't get them, but I think it's worth warranting the thought process,
Yeah.
and the concern. That's all I'm saying. Because I like Carney. I think he can. I think his ceiling is very, very high. You know, um, but then again, he has to prove he can stay fit also.
Yeah, more importantly, he has to. It looks like I don't know. I just don't want to say he's injury prone because you never know. Let's see. I'm seeing Olise playing for Chelsea in my dreams. That's a good dream. That's a good dream. I hope it comes true. Maresca saw Hutchinson last season. He rates him along with Gallagher, but it's not Maresca's decision who goes or comes
Yeah,
in.
true.
Yeah, that you can say true, but I think he had. I think we were told that he has to look at the loan players. Yeah, I think Fabrizio Romano said that. Maresca, Maresca will help decide who stays and who goes, not just the club. We were told that he has a say because if he wants him to stay, I think he'd stay. Maybe that will lead to them deciding to say it's a lot of a different player now. Nice to see you, Antonio Conqua. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. We may need to get rid of Mudryk if we bring in Olise.
Mm,
Get
no
rid.
comment.
I don't see that happening. Remember how much we paid for him? That's an issue. So it's not gonna be easy, even if you want to. Could have the likes on the Shimpi with the likes to go along with Maduka played both wings at PSV, so he could do that too. I hear he's done some of England's under 21. Palmer should play 10. Palmer can fulfill the 10 role. But I get Roger's argument, and I'm actually inclined to believe he's been more effective whenever he starts on the right. But then again, you look at it, you realize, yeah, we play with a fluid approach. Sometimes you see him deeper, sometimes on the left, on the right, the central, even in the number 9 position, while the number 9 guy drops deep. So it's never static. And that would be especially the case under Moresca. John Mikel said if Maresca gets the best out of Enzo and Casado, we aren't far away from competing. And that's very correct. So, yeah, a lot of players need to perform, not just those two, but it makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. The Leshe, I hope, Ndushe, I hope, I don't want to butcher your name. Kudus play him on the left. I don't think we're signing Kudus again. Nani can also play on the left. Yeah, we've talked about that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. I don't think we are prioritizing any natural left wing with the rumors around Olise. Wow. Okay. It will make a good chemistry to bring in Eze and Olise. But yeah, beyond that, there are other things to consider. Okay. Yeah, I suspect that name was South African, the Fila Ujani. I'm sorry, I can't read because I don't know the meaning. Is how old is Eberechi Eze really?
Who?
Eberechi Eze, how old is he?
Don't know.
Late 20s? I don't know. Why have I not been paying attention? If somebody says he's too old for Chelsea, which means probably above 25. It's a 3-2-4-1 in possession. Okay, yep. Thank you so much for that, Keyshawn. But my question is, what happens as to Estavo and Pies, who are soon to be integrated into the team, and what becomes of Stalin's future? Okay, who is our ideal striker option for this plan? I don't know. It's up to the manager, but I'm guessing probably they will be looking to bring in a more complete striker than Osimhen, in my opinion. As much as I think Osimhen is a good player, I've always made that argument, and it's looking like we're still there. And my argument was specific to again was when Mauricio Pochettino was still our manager, but now Maresca. I don't know whether he would want us to sign a traditional number 9, a player who's more of a traditional number 9, or than being, you can say, capable of dropping deep, floating to the left, right. You can say sometimes in the 10th position and all that. I don't think Osimhen is the guy, but that's just my argument anyway. But we'll find out. I don't know. He may well want one and then plan on making it work. And if we can add Eze, I will be happy. He's an Arsenal product, but hates Arsenal because he was depressed after they dropped him from the academy. He will play his strength. Okay. to puncture us. What a reason to sign him. I think we should go for him too, Jude. Keep dropping the likes on the shouldn't be, but the likes do go a long way. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. We're starting to look better on the Man City type of offense. I've said this. The more rehearsed will become, the better Sterling will come across. But the less rehearsed we are, and the more the pressure falls on him to lead by example, or whatever you want to sell him, whatever you want him, whatever way you want him to lead. The more he's not going to do enough. He's not going to be able to do enough to satisfy our demands of him. And that's because I think his sort of player thrives when we have a team that plays as a unit. And he was trying to lead, but that's not his thing. Couldn't. Whether he leads by being the most vocal in the dressing room, I don't know. But in terms of leading by example, that didn't happen, probably because we weren't rehearsed. I strongly believe the more rehearsed we become, the better he'd be. Because it will, what he has to do is just pop up at the right place at the right time. He's a top-end merchant. You can call him that. He also has the ability to pull off some excellent coilers or delicious coilers, whatever language you want to use. But the more rehearsed will be, the better he'd be. I think the fact that we had an entirely new squad was struggling. I think that exposed his deficiencies to an extent where Chelsea fans became concerned and was name calling him because of finger pointing and all that, scapegoating him. In most cases, some people judge him objectively. But boy, his dribble success rate is something to be concerned about. Eze is 25, so we could still sign him. We're signing Tosin, who's 26. Chelsea FC must not keep players who will be a liability. Sorry to say this, like Lukaku and so on. You don't have to be sorry. You haven't heard us talk about Lukaku here, but I don't think we're keeping him. Eze can play left wing if Sterling out. It can also play 10 and right wing, being also English helps. Yep, Eze is an excellent player. Palmer will improve more. Okay, if he plays in the middle consistently, he's better from the wings, but he has to move to the middle if we are making the signings. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and we'll try anything else to address here. It says, Coach, I was writing in... I can't even pronounce it. I was talking to Taveo on the chat. I realized you were talking to a fellow South African, but that's fine. And I trusted you. I just didn't want to try to read it and butcher it. We obviously can sign everyone. That has to be priority. No, we cannot sign all of them. Some takes you can say a precedence over the others. I don't know if that's the correct language. Who would you prefer, Duran or Sesko? I'd say I don't know. I get it. It'd be easy to say Sesko because he's played consistently than Duran. It's up to the scouts to decide who has a lot more to offer. Look beyond the games they played and the numbers and everything. Duran isn't actually bad because he's not. You can say hasn't played senior football for a while now. People will easily choose Sesko under him, but I think Sesko is looking the most likely. What happened to all mid-season hypes about Nico Williams coming to Chelsea? Yeah, all rumors. So I don't know. Let's say anything else to address here. I didn't see anything else there, or did I miss it? Just give me 1 second here. Before I hand over to, I don't know how long Roger was going to stay, but I'm going to hand over to Dante, and you guys can continue the conversation. And I'll shut off once I'm through. Anything else here? One more thing here, Broya. Broya on failed Fulham loan. All thoughts go through your head. I have wasted 4 months of my career just sitting around training. I could have been at Chelsea for 4 months, and he could have played more had he stayed. But unfortunately, wow, I feel bad for him because I think that's a good player. There, so people, if I come back and the show is still running, I will join definitely. But chances are, it will be through before I come back. But I want to say thank you to all of you. And Roger, you can start. Dante, you can start. If you have questions, go ahead with the conversation. I appreciate you all, and I cannot thank you guys enough for helping grow the community as you've done. So see you guys later when I come back, guys. And you can leave anytime you want. Don't wait for me. I'll shut down when I come back.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Roger, you there? It's not working.
Hello there. Sorry, I'm back.
So, big up, Roger. How are you, buddy?
I'm alive. How are you?
Good. All right, so we're continuing on from Coach. He's gone. Roger, I haven't really spoken to you before, so it's a pleasure to be on with you at the same time.
As much as they can before they go back to work or go take care of something more important.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, good to be on with you, Roger. First time.
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking with, by the way?
You're speaking to Dante.
Hey, Dante. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Yeah, first time. I've been on a few times, but I don't think I've been with you on a few. I don't think you were on each time. So, yeah, it's good to finally get to talk to you as well.
Likewise.
All right, let's continue on. So we were looking at Roger. I've got a question actually for you. Have you looked into Maresca, his style of play, his formation, what he likes to do, how he likes to use his players?
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting. He's quite flexible. I like the fact that he does use an inverted fullback most of the time, and he uses a box formation in midfield. You know, he likes to overwhelm the midfield, and he keeps his forwards wide, very wide, for sure. I like that. Gives the team breadth. You know, that's very important. I think certain players will benefit from this for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you because you were talking about it earlier. So if we sign Olise comes in, so the way Maresca plays, he plays with, like you say, the right wing and left wing. They're really, really out wide. He likes to get on the touchline,
they're hugging,
bit out of the way so they can open up space.
Yeah.
Do you see Olise starting there, and then where would you see Palmer playing? Because then he plays with 2 8s in the middle.
That's the conundrum, isn't it? To be honest with you, I would say, you know, you see him in a 4-2-3-1 where he drops back deep into a wide 8, right? And he pings the ball around. He influences the game. And I think this suits him really well. And then he cuts inside. And, you know, Palmer, for the most part, I think has been given the freedom of the pitch, so to speak. You know, he's quite flexible in that. Well, Poch was. He allowed him to do that. And rightfully so. He's a very gifted individual. But I think, listen, there are times where you're going to have to rest Olise, and maybe Palmer can start there or come in on the, you know, maybe move up from the number 8 position for the last 20 minutes or come on as a sub, you know, because you're going to have to, he can't, listen, Palmer and Olise can't start every game. right? If you go into 50, 60
No.
plus games. So, but for the most part, let's assume for the most part that, yeah, I would have no problem with him being a number 8 wide deeper. No problem whatsoever. You know, you're going to have a number 6 and 2 number 8s if we're employing a 4-3-3. With a 4-2-3-1, I guess Palmer is going to be the number 10. But what does that do for Carney? You know, I don't know. He could also play a false 9, but
Yeah, Moresca doesn't play. He doesn't play a 10. He doesn't play a 10.
No,
So
exactly. He
the
doesn't.
10
That's just it.
and
What does that do for Carney? What does that do for Mudryk or Palmer to a certain extent? But he does. I think he has utilised a 4-2-3-1 on occasion, but it's predominantly a 4-3-3, which
I
I
think it's
like.
only like two games he
Yeah,
tried that, but
right.
yeah, he
And
doesn't. That's not his style.
and let's be honest here. Look at our midfield players, chaps. They are all predominantly bloody number 8s, you know, and that's what we talked about all last season. Let's be honest. You know,
Yep.
you have people like Caicedo, Cesar Cassidy, Carney, Enzo, Gallagher, of Leslie Ugochukwu, you know, and obviously Santos. But yeah, these are all number 8s. These are all textbook number 8s. None of them are number 6s. A few of them, like Carney, can play as a number 10.
Probably
No doubt
Lavia
about
because
it.
he's played a lot at Southampton as a 6. He's a 6,
Yeah,
probably the most out of all of them.
yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a natural number 6. I'd say he's a box to box. Do you see where I'm coming from? A certain like Ala and Golo, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, he's not a lone 6. You mean he
Yeah.
double 6, so he goes forward as well. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly. He's not your prototypical like I'm trying to think who's the
Leslie. Probably Leslie's the only one.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
by far. Yeah, like a Rodri is for bloody City, right? I mean, because if you have to have a lone 6, you usually need someone with height. You know, Rodri's the prototypical. If you have to ask AI, artificial intelligence, you know, a supercomputer to design a freaking prototypical number 6, I'm sure they come up with Rodri. You know, he's right. Yeah, he's a midfielder's wet dream. He's that good. Let's be honest. And he ticks the boxes. And I think Leslie is in that mold. I'm not saying to compare him with Rodri. I don't mean that at all. But all the other players, they're all number bloody 8s. You know?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And that's my concern.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
I mean, what would you do if Olise is purchased? Obviously, he's going to play as a forward right winger, right? Hugging the touchline, as you said.
That's the only position he can play, really.
Yeah. Maybe
I mean, I've seen him play left wing once. Yeah. Only once I've seen him play in like 2 years. I've seen him once.
Yeah, I actually haven't.
Yeah, he played once when they had quite a few injuries. He played once on the left, but that was the only time I've ever seen him play left. So that's once is nothing.
And what does this do for Madueke also? Does this stunt?
Well, Madueke, if Olise comes in, well, Olise is a much better player than obviously he's
it's
number
an
2
upgrade.
then.
Yeah.
It is an upgrade. It's quite a big upgrade. So it's great depth to have Madueke. Or if he fancies himself, he can challenge him, and you never know. But at this point, he'll be number 2, obviously.
Yeah. But does it stunt his growth, his potential? You know, like we saw Gallagher improve as the season progressed. Hypothetically, if for instance Madueke starts the majority of the games on the right side throughout the whole season of 4-3-3. He may improve and make leaps and bounds. Well, one doesn't know. But yeah, you're right. It's definitely a huge upgrade right now, in my opinion. But you can conversely say it's stunting his growth, you know? There's two sides of that coin.
Accept that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he can fight for his spot and he can prove it that he is, and then he can take his spot, no problem. But I mean, yeah, he would be definitely price tag and also the better player all around. So
definitely.
He would take that spot. That's why I was talking a bit earlier. I was mentioning, what about Eze, his teammate?
Did you see him for England play?
Yes. Yeah.
He was the only bright spark in the first half, really.
He's a great player. He's a great age. Obviously, he's a bit more mature. He's 25, so he's got nearly 3 years on Olise. So he is the more complete player. But I don't mind him because he plays on the left wing, but he also plays a 10, and I've seen him play on the right quite a lot when Olise is injured, which is quite often actually. So he would fit much better, but I think if Sterling was sold, then he would fit perfectly. If
For
Sterling
sure.
stays, then I could see probably Olise obviously fitting better because then
Okay, so
it's just the right side.
okay, so this necessitates these questions. Do you see Sterling being on our team next season? Yes or no?
No, I know I don't want him, and
No, I know.
I think they
Me
will
too.
try to move him, but can they move him?
Yeah, this is the question, right? I don't see
Yeah.
him leaving. I mean, hopefully we do, because I don't mean to disrespect him. He's not my cup of tea as a player. He has
Sorry, Raja, I know
flaws.
how much you love Sterling. That's
I
fine.
know. He's on my Christmas card list.
He's not mine either. I remember I kept saying 1 in 7, 1 in 7. That's why he wears
Yeah.
the number 7 shirt.
That's
So no, he's not
nice.
my cup of tea. I really hope
Yeah.
he gets sold and moved on. Maybe he can. Would he go to like a Crystal Palace?
Do you
Because
know
he
what
stays
though?
in London, he doesn't have to move. It's right there. It's not.
I will deny
Would
I ever
he?
said this, Dante, but you know what? I can see him being a success with Moresco. I can see him
Oh,
maybe stepping it up.
the way
I
Maresca
think.
uses his wingers, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's one of those that.
Well, you know, making intelligent runs to the far post, things like that, a la
Well,
Man
that's what.
City in his day.
Yeah, Moresca uses his wingers to really, really keep wide. They don't get involved that much, and then they do make those runs at the post at late runs, like
Yeah,
exactly what you're
and
saying.
he's very intelligent at that in his days at City. You must concede that. This is the one
He is
thing that,
intelligent at that, and
yeah,
but would he be happy with that and just to not be involved as much? And then because the wingers then he uses them to more as decoys than anything. Maresca
yeah, I know what you mean.
keep the width, so I don't know if he would be happy with that. Look, I want to obviously most
Well,
of
well,
us want him to go.
well, it keeps the keeps their defensive line honest because most opponents are played with a compact, right? The compactness
Correct.
as
Yeah.
opposed to, so that's why they play them out wide. But so
Correct. Yeah.
so then if Sterling doesn't go, then this really, like, I would love Eze to come to Chelsea, but I think it's on the auspices that Sterling has to leave, because what do we do with Mudryk otherwise? I actually think we
Well,
should get
Mudryk,
Eze
yeah.
over Elise.
Well, at the end of the season, obviously Mudryk was playing over Sterling. He finally got ahead of him, so he
Yes,
was the number one choice.
12 games consecutively, I believe.
Correct. Yeah. So he finally got his run, and he did play much better. So he got his run, and yeah, look, Sterling was left out by Mudryk, which a lot of us and a lot of fans aren't the biggest fan of Mudryk. They can see the potential and everything there, but he's not consistent yet.
No, he's raw. He's very raw. You know what? I
He's
kept on
yeah.
criticizing Poch, Dante, about why is it week in, week out Sterling is given the starting role when it's not deserved. But you know, for 12 games, I've got to give it to him. He stuck by him, and we saw enough sampling size from Mudryk to say that for the most part, he's not ready to play in this league at the highest level. Just being honest, but he does show you
I think
glimpses.
he's ready.
Really, not on a
I look at it
consistent
a bit differently
basis.
than you. I
Sure,
think he
sure.
was severely undercoached.
No, that's true. I don't concede
Yeah,
that. I mean, it's valid what you're saying. Um, I'm just saying on a consistent basis, but you see glimpses of where you stand up and like, ooh, Hazard-esque, you do see
yes,
that.
yes.
You've got to admit, I just don't see it on a consistent basis. He
Look,
does. He makes these beautiful, insightful passes that are so hard to do, and yet within the next few seconds, he can't complete a 3-yard pass. He's
yeah, look, he's one of those players that once the game slows down for him, mentally, I'm talking about,
Yeah, sure.
that's when he'll become pretty hard to deal with, and he become a top
And
player,
and they
world
say that,
class, if
yeah,
he slows down for him.
and they say this about quarterbacks in the NFL when you have young quarterbacks. It's like they're overwhelmed because, yeah, I know they only have like 2.4 seconds to get rid of the ball, but when you
Correct.
see
Yeah.
a seasoned quarterback they all say one thing: the game slows down. That it's so easy now that they see things that
Correct.
they didn't see as rookies. And I think we can say the same. Obviously, a different scenario, but you get my analysis. It's
Well,
very
it's
similar in that
similar, yeah,
regard.
because I mean he plays with such speed.
Yeah,
So he's thinking one moves, two moves ahead, but it's too much because he's playing at 100 kilometers an hour. So it's just too much. So once mentally he slows it down and realizes what he needs to do and how to do it, and that's as he matures, I think he'll become a world class player. But that also comes down to who coaches him, how they play him,
I agree.
what position, etc.
Yeah,
So look, for me, I love he's got everything. Everything's there already, in my opinion. It's just that mental side.
yeah, I totally agree. I think you've hit a lot of
Guys,
valid points there.
I'm actually going to leave. I'm not really a part of this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So
Bobby. No, Bobby, go
Oh,
for
Bobby,
it.
sorry, we
Come
didn't.
in.
no, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I'll check out and join another
Bobby, I had
time.
no idea you were there, buddy. I'm
Yeah,
really
neither did
sorry.
I, mate. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see the next
On this new
time.
system, I can't see everything, unfortunately. So, when you sign in and sign out, and then you sign in back again, sometimes you don't come back up again. So I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with this new system.
All right, guys.
Sorry, Bobby.
Big up, Bobby.
Yeah, go for it, Doddy. Sorry, Bobby. I really
Bobby.
didn't know he was there. Yeah, I didn't know.
I had no idea. He usually interrupts all the time when he comes in. He interrupts, no problem. So he wasn't there. So poor Bobby. Yeah, where were we? Sorry, yeah, with Mudrik, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Um,
that's right. Yeah. I don't know.
so yeah. Once that happens, once the game slows down for him, like you say, like the quarterbacks, I think he'll be a much better player. And I actually think this Maresca style will suit him really well because he doesn't have to do as much.
Yeah,
He's sticks out to the left and involved only every now and then making runs. So that will suit him much better because he doesn't have to think 100 million things at once at high speed. So I think he'll suit him a bit better. And if he uses him that way, I think he'll be much better. But that's why I was saying if Eze comes in, he would probably start over Mudrik, obviously.
right.
So that's why I would prefer Eze and having Mudrik as a backup, and obviously Sterling gone. But if Sterling doesn't go, then obviously I can see Olise fitting better because then we've got Sterling and Mudrik, so we don't need another one probably.
Makes sense. What about number 9? Any preferences?
Oh, number 9. We spoke that a couple of days ago about that quite in
Oh, sorry.
detail. So Osimhen, no, that's fine. We've got to speak about it again, obviously. Osimhen's cooled down a bit, obviously, with the price tag. I think, in my opinion, it's the wages and the agent fees, etc., that's really putting us off.
Yeah, I don't see
Um,
him coming to us. I see him going to PSG.
yeah, well, I don't know if anyone's gonna pay. Only they can probably pay that release clause and those massive wages if he wants such big wages.
Yeah, they've let go of Mbappe, so they can afford it. I mean,
So
this
they can
guy's
afford him. They can afford
yeah,
him easily, yeah.
yeah.
But apparently they want the left winger, the Georgian that plays with him at Napoli. They want him instead,
Oh,
and
I
they're
know. Yeah.
offering I think 120 million for him. I think so. I think they're in contact with him and they want him first. So
What do you think of Sesko?
Sesko is
Too raw.
He's a typical 9, but from my opinion, 55 million release clause. That's for me too
Is that
much for him.
euros?
I think it's pounds. I can't remember. Euros or
Really?
pounds.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot. Then
that's a
if
release
it's
clause.
yeah, that's a lot.
For me, that's too much. He's like Jackson, 30 million, 35 million, 32 million, whatever it
Sure,
was. He's
sure.
not a 55 million in my opinion, but
No, I
the
agree.
price is not that's set by the market, so it doesn't really matter. But it is a lot for him being that raw. He doesn't really score enough goals. He doesn't really get involved that much in play that much. He drops deep to receive the ball at his feet, but then he just quickly turns and shoots. That's his biggest attribute is shooting because he can shoot with his left and he can shoot with his right.
Yeah.
So that's his biggest attribute. He scores most goals from shooting, turning straight away, and just having a shot straight away, which is good in a way. You want your striker to do that, but that's his sort of really good. He's great. He's pretty good in the air because he's quite physical, tall. But
He's
other than
very good
that,
in the air. Yeah.
yeah, so he's very good in the air. But other than that, yeah, he just stays central. He doesn't really. He's not a Jackson that can play wide and
So what do you
come
think of
and pick up the
Fofana
ball and
that
link up.
we lent out? Do you think he has a chance of making the squad?
Who was that? Sorry,
Fofana, the number 9
oh,
that we
Fofana.
yeah.
It's a tough one. I don't think so. That's just my opinion. I don't think so. I can obviously the coach will have to have a look at him in preseason, so that's the only way. But I don't think so. I've seen him play. He's got flashes,
Yeah, he does,
but
doesn't he?
the rest of the game is not really.
He disappears, right?
He disappears and he's not really into it. He just sort of waits around for it. He doesn't, he waits around for the ball more than actually getting involved in the play. So he's not bad, but I don't think
He's
he's
got
that suited
potential,
yet.
though. He
He's
can
got
be coached
potential,
up.
but
Yeah, and he's
we don't need
physical. That's what I
potential now.
like.
We don't really need a potential at the moment.
Yeah, we have a lot of
I
potential
think we've got a
everywhere,
lot
right?
of potential in our squad already.
Yeah.
Especially for that number 9. Jackson was a potential. Look, he did very well. I do like what he does. So he does very well, but we need another 9 that not just potential, probably has still young, can be young, no problem, but has a little bit of at least an experience at a more proper striker, not because Jackson he's not really a proper striker. He's more of a
No.
left winger converted into a striker.
Yeah, false number 9. Would you
Yeah,
be
yeah.
okay
So
with
he's
Chelsea in the season with only Jackson? Let's say we don't bring in a Premier number 9. Would you be okay? Would you be comfortable with this as the status quo?
I think we can survive with it because Jackson obviously, and Kunku could play there as well, especially under Maresca system, and Kunku
Yes.
will actually suit it very well because Moresca turned Jamie Vardy. We know Jamie Vardy just waits for the long balls over the top, chases. He's that type of player, but he converted him into to come back into the play and link up and spread the ball wide and create spaces.
Yeah, back
He didn't
towards
score as
goal.
much, but he created. That's the type of striker he likes. So that's perfect for Nkunku, in my opinion.
And Kunku's our
Uh,
best finisher, right? By far, in my
yeah,
opinion.
finishing and also doing all the rest of the things. So he doesn't really look at he doesn't go for a typical number 9 type of striker. He goes someone that likes to link up, which Jackson is, and Nkunku both are.
And
So we
Kunku
can
by
probably get
far.
away with just those 2.
Yeah.
And Palmer can really fit in there if if you need someone. But
So,
I don't
okay,
think there's any top strikers available to go for after, to be honest.
yeah, no, I
I
get it.
don't really see. Well, obviously Osman, but I don't think it's realistic at the moment.
What about Tony?
Bes- Ivan Tony, I've never really been a big fan of Tony, to be honest.
Really?
Only because of the system he plays in and where he plays and
Sure.
how he plays. He doesn't. He plays for obviously a lower team. All counter attack. His back is mostly to the ball. He
Sure.
plays in that system. Hasn't been to a big club. He's used to playing only counter-attacking football.
Do you think the shirt would be too heavy for him then?
I think so, and yeah,
Sure.
I do. Yeah,
I
that's
my
my
my my
opinion. That's why when they were saying 80 million, 90 million, 100 million, I was like, "What?
Yeah,
Why?"
no, I
Like,
get it. My only
it's
thing is he comes across as a person that doesn't seem motivated, and plus his off-field problems. That's my only hesitation about him. I think he's a very solid finisher with both feet. Aerially, he's amazing. He's a great penalty kick. You're right, back to goal, he's excellent. Turns on the ball really well.
yeah,
Not exactly renowned for making intelligent runs. I give you that. I grant, but I think he's Premier League proven. I think, assuming he can stay healthy and isn't, shall we say, fined or barred from playing, I think he can
yeah,
get
yeah.
20 plus goals a year for us.
I don't think he would score that much. No, I don't
You
see
don't
him
think
scoring.
so?
Even the last 15 games of the season or whatever it was, he hasn't scored. He didn't score 1 goal, and he played all
Yeah.
games.
No, I get it. But then again, I
Um,
mean, it's a team that was struggling, let's say.
yeah, but I mean,
It
he's used to playing in that system and that type of team
But
Like
can you imagine though, with our XG, the amount of chances we create? He's far more clinical than Jackson, in my
look,
opinion.
he would be not a, but he's 29, Roger. So
No, yeah,
we're
no, I
not
get it.
signing him.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Realistically, the strikers, there's not many that we can go for that suits our model projects.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
ones
think
that do are not.
Sesko is that type, but I just think he's way overpriced for what he does. He
Yeah.
doesn't score enough goals, and if you're not scoring enough goals and getting involved in the German league,
Yeah, what does that tell you?
well, yeah, it doesn't tell me. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, even Werner scored millions of goals
Yeah, but
and he
Sesko,
doesn't.
how
So
old is he? 22 or something? He's really young, isn't he?
yeah, he's quite. I think 21. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
21.
young. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah, he's still developing. He only starting proper number one striker, I think, a year and a half
So
ago.
Dante,
That's
who's
all.
your starting midfield if you were coach, or who do you think Maresca would choose, assuming everyone's healthy, right?
So in Maresca's system, obviously,
Yeah.
it would be Lavia, Enzo, and Casado.
Okay.
Yep,
So no
that's
Palmer.
for me. No, Palmer would be right wing.
Okay.
I would probably play Palmer right wing.
Assuming there's no Olise. What happens if we have Olise?
Correct. Well, we don't have any other player at the moment, so it would have to
Okay.
be Palmer first there because I don't.
Oh,
Madueke
sure.
wouldn't start over him. Yeah,
No,
so
never.
I see that midfield more. Palmer could fit into that one of those eights, that 8 position. But if there's no Elise, I'll obviously Palmer first
Oh, yeah,
on the
sure.
right wing. So yeah, that'll be my 3-man midfield, and of course
And
the
what's your 3
inverted
up top?
fullbacks.
What's your up top? Who's up top for you? You got Palmer on the right, as you said.
Yep, Palmer on the right, and I would probably play. I'll look at Nkunku, in my opinion, with this new
On the
system.
left.
No, up front.
Up front. Okay, and then what? Jackson on the left.
Probably Jackson on the left. Correct. Yes.
Man, that's not bad. That's sexy.
Yep. With the team we have now, if we sign players, that's different. That changes. Yeah, but I would go. That's what I would put. I would put Jackson on the left, and I would put Nkunku up top. Just in my opinion.
No, that's I would do that also. Honestly, to me, that's our best 6. What about? Do you think Santos makes the team, or do you think he goes on loan again?
No, I think Santos makes this team. We were talking about that last night. I think Santos would even play over Gallagher.
Right. I like Santos a lot. What about Cesar Casade?
No, I think he'll go on loan.
Really?
Yeah, I think he wouldn't be that suited from what I see to Maresca playing in one of those 8s. We know he's an 8, but he's more really, in my opinion, he's a bit more of a 10 than an 8, in my personal opinion. It's in that area to drift around that number 10 area. He doesn't have to run too far back. Concentrates on the ball. He's good in the air. Makes runs into the box late because he's quite physical. For me, he's more of a number 10 than an 8. I can see him maybe staying for depth, but I could see Maresca choosing Santos over him,
right?
And over Gallagher as well as an option to one of those 8s.
So who is your rotational midfield? Do you think that's going to make the squad? Santos is one.
Santos, yeah. Obviously Gallagher if he stays.
Sure. What do you think though? Do you think he stays or
no? Tough one.
50-50, isn't it?
Well, apparently the reports he's asking for 180 to 200,000 K a week.
Ooh.
These owners and these sporting directors are not giving him that much.
No, they shouldn't either. That's a lot.
In my opinion as well, I think they should know. He's not that type of player yet. I mean, yeah, they can give him, say, 120, which I think should be max, 120, even 100, but I think 120 max. And maybe incentive to earn that if he does, remarkably well and we get Champions League and we win cups or whatever.
I think a lot all these contracts.
I'm happy with that then. That's not a problem, but I don't see him fitting too well into this Maresca team, to be honest. Because
I do. I think he will excel.
Likes technical players in the midfield, and he likes his players that pass straight away, one touch and pass, and he likes his players that if they don't do that, to take the ball quick turn and dribble past the player.
Yeah, he's not
I
good at
did not see
dribbling.
Gallagher doing those things.
No,
That's not his strength.
No, it's not his strength. But off the ball, he's strong. But I saw him play for Palace 3 seasons ago, and he's a very good number 8, very solid, both
Yeah,
with the
look,
ball
he's
and
a good.
without the ball.
I think he was better at Palace than when he played for us.
Yeah,
in my
I agree.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's a
so
number 8.
everybody kept saying he's improved so much, but I actually think he was better at Palace.
Well,
I
no,
don't
no,
see
I'm
the
talking
biggest of
about.
improvements.
Oh, I do. I say, like, for instance, if you look at him last season, and not the season just past, the season before, when you saw him receive the ball, his first touch was quite poor. He would under pressure. He wasn't
He's
press
a little bit better
resistant.
at that. Yeah,
He
yeah, he's better at
mine
that. 100%. He's
with
improved a
both
little bit,
feet.
and that's the part I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, with both feet. You see him turn with both feet now constantly. In fact, he draws the fouls more often than not when he's receiving the ball on the turn. You never saw that 12 months prior. You just didn't.
I
And
think
so,
that was forced. That was forced because he was playing in the 10, so he
sure,
had to. He had no choice. As
I,
in the develop. Yeah, it was
I
forced, but
think
I
he's
still think.
improved.
Oh, he's improved. Yeah, he's improved slightly, in my opinion, but not like to world class level.
No, hell no. I'm not suggesting
No.
that by any stretch.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he went from. So I'll give it a numeric value. It went from being a 5 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. If that makes sense, I'm not
Yeah,
saying.
I like I said, I think he was really good at Crystal Palace. So
Yeah, no, I agree. But the one thing I do like about him, he also offers physicality and consistency.
yes,
He very
yes.
seldom has a poor game. He's pretty consistent. He's ho hum, right?
I'm not sure about that one, Roger.
See, okay. Well, I don't know. Listen.
Yeah,
Is he flawed? Yes, he is. But
yeah.
I still think he's a pretty.
He's solid defensively, like you say. He gives everything. He runs hard. He plays hard. That's what he's good at. But sometimes he looks really good. Sometimes looks okay, and then sometimes he looks like a Sunday league player.
I don't see that.
Just
I
sometimes
think that's too
his
strong of a
head's.
criticism. Now,
I know
two
you know.
seasons.
I knew you
No,
wouldn't
no,
agree with that, but
no.
that's
Two
just my
seasons
opinion.
ago, when he was like, look, he got 2 consecutive yellow cards within 5 minutes, whatever the game was. Yeah. He was totally immature and ill-disciplined. I don't
Yep,
see
yep.
him doing that anymore. I don't see
No,
him
I'm not
having
talking
that.
about that side. I'm talking about
Oh, okay.
technical ability. I'm talking more about technical ability. But,
Okay, so
look, it
let me
was
ask
not
you a
his fault
question.
playing
No,
in the
no.
10.
Sure.
It was not his fault playing in the 10. Poch played him in the 10, which he does not suit.
No,
In
I
my
agree.
opinion, that made him look worse because he can't see a pass.
No, I agree.
Maybe
He
every
doesn't have.
game there are probably 2 or 3 passes he should be sliding in for a player to go in,
I agree.
but he looks the other way, sideways. He just doesn't see it. He
No,
can't
I
dribble.
concede that. But let me ask you
Yeah,
something, though. Have a look at the goals he scored. Have a look at every single goal he's ever scored in the Premier League. And
yeah.
they're very high quality. And by the way, he does it with
Mm.
both feet. The best goal he scored this season was with his left foot, a curler.
That was a very easy shot, an easy goal for me. In my
Yeah,
opinion, that's an
oh,
easy
come
shot.
on. No, I'm sorry,
It
Dante.
is.
No, that's a left
Did
footed
you
shot,
see
a
how much? Did
curler.
you see the defenders? They sat down, had some tea, had a biscuit,
Okay,
and they
Dante,
were watching him. So he just ran in. Everybody's like, "No, we're not touching you."
are you talking
And he
about
kept
the
running
left?
in. He's like, "What's going on?" And then right on the edge of the box, he just shoots with his left foot. I mean,
No, he doesn't
for
just
me,
shoot.
for me, it's not a hard shot. That's an
Oh
easy
my
shot for a
God,
football
Dante, I
player.
so disagree with you on that. That's a world class. That ball is not savable. He curled it in with his left foot.
He
If a
curled it
Brazilian,
in, but it's not. Even the technique was very wrong on that as well.
oh my
To be
God, he
honest.
can't do anything right in your. No, I disagree with you on that.
No, it was a good goal, but the technique is not how he's supposed to hit it and how he's supposed to do it. He was very
I think you've been.
uncomfortable.
I think you've been relatively fair with him, but I think that's a little bit. No, that's too. I'm sorry. You've got to be a little bit more objective. I think that was a. Had anyone else scored it, had that been a Brazilian, you'd be, shall we say,
No,
waxing lyrical.
no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't
Oh,
because
please.
no, I wouldn't. I'm just
I'm
being
being
honest, Roger. As a
facetious here.
player, as an ex-player,
Yeah.
that's not hard to do what he did.
Well, on your weaker foot, really? So, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not hard. That's the easiest probably shot. The curler's the easiest shot because
So
it's all
can I?
control.
Okay. I'm going to play devil's advocate. So why don't we see all other players do this on a regular basis with their weaker foot? Answer that question. Then, if
Palmer
you
does it all the time with his weaker foot. He's great at that. He doesn't go for power. He goes for placement. Just curls them.
he has curled a ball with his right foot like that last season. I didn't see one that scored.
I-
No, I beg to differ.
Pretty sure he has.
No, with his right foot. Now, he scored with his right foot, but he hasn't taken it on the right side and curled it like he did, like Palmer did. Sorry, that Gallagher did.
Gallagher did. Look,
No, I'm saying
okay,
about
I
other
know what
players.
you're saying.
Listen, how many players do you see that are only one-footed and can't do jack with their other, shall we say, lesser foot?
Yeah, there is a lot of players that
Yeah.
they shouldn't be at the top level these days because it's not
But
excusable
it's
these
predominant though. You see world-class players.
days. There is more and more, unfortunately, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be. But it is. Yeah, there is. Look, it was a good goal, but it was just a normal goal for me. It's nothing special
Wow.
because he had so
Okay.
much time. He just kept running. He actually even slowed down, looked up, looked around. No one, oh, that's sitting off me even more. Okay, I'm going to dribble even more. And then he just slowly curled it around and put it in the top corner. That's not a hard finish. That's a simple finish.
Well,
When
then
there's no pressure around you. That's very
okay,
simple.
this is my last thing, and then we'll drop it. If it was that easy, you'd see so many other players in so many other clubs scoring like that with their lesser foot. I beg to differ.
But you do
I
see other
digress.
players, Roger, in other
On the
clubs,
cons-
in other leagues. Depends
with
how
their
much
le-
football you
with their-
watch.
I watch a lot. With their lesser foot, I digress. It's okay. Let's switch.
I've seen a plenty. I've seen it here. Going
on
to
a
Sunday
regular
League here and
basis.
watching it. I've seen it here as well.
On a regular
I didn't
basis.
see it as a
No.
special goal. Yeah, it's a good finish, tidy finish. The technique was all wrong on it anyway. First of all, he's not comfortable doing that, but he did it anyway, and it's a good goal. Yeah, but it's not his strong suit. He doesn't do that normally. He's not. That was the only really goal he scored.
Have
that
you
was
seen
good.
all his goals as a professional? I have. And they're
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, of course, I'm a Chelsea fan. I've watched Chelsea every game.
And Palace and Palace. Have you seen every goal that he scored at Palace?
Not every goal, but pretty much nearly every goal because I watched the highlights.
There was only like 11 of them, right? I suggest you do that and have a look at the quality of goals.
No, I did, and he was much better at Palace, like I said.
Yeah. No, I'm
He
talking
was
about
much
the
better
quality
at
of his
Palace
goals,
at finishing and shooting.
Yeah.
He's not a comfortable shooter. He doesn't shoot well. His technique is completely off, actually.
Okay, so can I ask you a question about Enzo? Do you
Yes.
rate Enzo, yes or no? Do you rate him highly, yes or no?
Yes, as a player, yes.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think Enzo is a better shooter than Gallagher? No way.
He is a better shooter, yes.
Whoa, are you serious? He shoots
not a better finisher, but a better shooter.
And okay, this is my observation, and I think on the average, I've watched every single Chelsea game this season, and by the way, I'm talking about every single one, 51.
I've watched the two. I've watched everything. I know what you're going to say, and I already know what you're going to say because he's been shocking at finishing.
Shocking! Like I'm talking about shooting. You would have to concur that either his shot lacks velocity, and the majority of them look like back passes.
Yeah, Roger. One argument I have against that one is the season before that he wasn't doing that.
Okay,
his shots were much
and it
powerful.
could be because of the groin. It could be because of the
correct,
groin.
100% correct.
And you're speaking to someone that has had double hernia surgery, so I know
exactly. Yes, and I've had my hernia. Yes, that's what I mean. It's very sore. It's very hard to open up your feet, your leg.
Yeah,
your
exactly. To turn your hip, right? Yeah, to turn your hip, right? And so the one thing I want to say is, but then when he does utilize power, I'm talking about on a consistent basis. How many times have we seen it either be 20, 30 yards above the bar or way left or way right? How often have you seen him shoot? And I mentioned this on Mitch's show and Coaches, where he shoots with velocity. And how often does it hit the target?
Not often at all. He's been horrible. He's been horrible.
Putrid is how I would describe it.
It's been horrible, yeah. But I go back to him last season and playing for Argentina and Benfica. Watch the difference. Big difference.
It's in a different league. Big difference.
No. The way he shoots and how much power.
No. And I can
even
see
for Chelsea, I'm talking about, Roger.
No. I can see that, and but unlike you with that left-footed shot from Gallagher, I will concede. You have a valid point, sir. I will concede.
Look,
that.
It's just an opinion.
No, I love Enzo. I'm truly a big Enzo fan. My only criticism of him is twofold. One, his shooting, and hopefully it's because of his injury, which I totally can relate to. And B is he lacks pace and upper body strength, and obviously height. Even when you see him jump for a ball, it's
Oh,
pretty.
no, he's short. Yeah.
It's no. You know what? That you can be diminutive, but you can also have hops. You know, there are people. Spuds Webb or whatever his name was in the NBA. He won the
The little
dunking
basketballer. Yeah.
Yeah, so he won the dunking competition in the late 80s, early 90s. Whenever
Sorry,
it
Roger,
was.
but he's yeah. I don't want to be.
No, and he was 6
White
foot.
men can't jump.
No, yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm only 6'1", but guess what? I used to be able to dunk a tennis ball. I couldn't
Oh,
dunk
you're
a
a goalkeeper,
basketball.
so yeah.
Yeah,
You were a goalkeeper.
but I could dunk a freaking tennis ball on the in the gym though, not on the actual concrete. I could only hang on to the rim. You know, it's like
On the rim,
if you
yeah.
have
Well, you're 6'1's not small, so that's
yeah,
pretty
but
good height.
it's not 6'7", though, is it? You know what I mean?
No, it's not. No, I agree with that, but I do think he was hampered a lot last season.
No, I
I kept
agree.
telling
I agree.
coach in private chats when we were watching games throughout this, I'm like, is he injured? What's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
Something's wrong? Something's not
Yeah.
right.
But he's not
And
blessed with
well, we
speed
found out
either.
what happened.
Yeah. And he's not blessed
Um,
with speed either. And my only concern is him and Caicedo. Can they? Well, that's in a double pivot, right? So I get it, but I had serious
It's not
concerns. Yeah, that was my only. I love him though. Don't get me wrong. His passing repertoire is amazing. I love his passing, especially with the
And
outside of the
Roger,
boot.
so even if he was injured, he still played not bad some games
No, I
good,
agree.
but
No, I
pretty
agree.
average. I mean, you're gonna get that when sometimes you feel better, your hernia, sometimes
Oh,
you
listen,
won't.
my objective was not to belittle him in any way because I think he's a world-class player. I really
And that's
do.
why I was very angry at Poch. I think he made him look bad.
Well, but by putting him in a
By
double
Poch
pivot.
playing him injured, knowing that he's
Oh,
injured,
sure.
I think he made him look bad. Obviously, didn't help the team,
But
and he
who was
made
the
him look bad as
alternatives
well.
though? Lavia's gone. Leslie was injured most of the time. Who else was there?
But you
You
still
know?
don't play a player.
No, I
If
get it.
Roger, if he inverted Cucurella from the start to help him in the midfield,
No, I get
we
it.
wouldn't have the same problem. He's still
Well, don't forget
much better.
Cucurella. The first 25 games he hardly played. He was injured himself. Don't forget we were using
Yeah, he was
second,
injured for a
third.
little while, but
Yeah.
we still had players available. You can
No,
invert Colwell. It doesn't matter. You can invert plenty of players, no
well,
problem.
hold on.
I'm saying if he had that help,
But hold on one second. This is my argument to you. I'm not defending Poch, but you do realise both fullbacks, we use 5 players starting, different players on the left side and 4 on the right side. You do realise that especially the first half of the season, we were depleted in the fullback. Don't forget,
yeah, I know we were,
James only
yes,
lasted like 72 minutes the first game of the
but we
season.
also did have Maatsen always available.
No, he was deemed too small, right? And you saw that in the but you saw that in the Champions League final. He was pushed off the ball twice. He was like, "Get away from me!" He looked like a worldweight fighter, like
Did he make
104.
the UEFA team of the season?
I don't know. Did he?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? He's not big enough to play in this league. In this league, he's been found out. He's not big enough.
I agree he's not big enough,
He's
but
not strong enough.
when you invert him, it's very different.
Okay, well that's Poch's decision and coaching staff.
Yeah.
They deemed him not big enough or technical, or however you want to term it.
Oh, he's
But
technical. He's a really good player, but yeah,
no,
he
I
didn't use
agree.
him.
I agree. And you can
I don't
see
look
him.
I don't want to hear options. He didn't have options because there
No.
was options.
But hold on one second though. You're comparing Champions League, which is far less physical on the average than the Premier League. Mudryk excelled in the Champions League, and guess what? He hasn't excelled in the Premier League. You're comparing apples to oranges in that context. Does that make sense? It's
Roger,
a far more
he's good
physical
enough to
game.
play. You're saying so he
It's
played in the
not.
championship, and his championship is not physical.
No, it is. But guess what? The difference is the skill level isn't as high, so you can get away with a lot more. That's the
Okay, but
difference.
I'm saying
And
as cover. Could he have used him as cover?
yes, I concede that. I agree with you.
Exactly. So
Yes.
saying that there's no option at all when you have him there, and when we
No.
can see how well he's done with Dortmund.
A different league, completely different league yet again. Werner.
I know it's a different league. It's still
Yeah.
football, Roger. Though it's still football. He's still
You
a
know what?
professional player.
And you know
So
what? I can play basketball against 7-year-olds and dunk on them but I can't make it in the NBA. But excuse me, Dante, it's still basketball. It's still basketball.
So
Everything
you're
has
comparing
context, right?
EPL to the German league as it's to 7-year-olds and
I'm
to
being
30-year-olds,
facetious.
or what?
I'm being facetious, obviously, but you get the idea. It has context, right? It's like,
It
no, it
can't be
doesn't.
that. That's a big gap, Roger.
Yeah,
That's a
well,
huge
obviously, I'm
gap.
trying to emphasize my point here. Objection overruled, right? Yeah, I get it. But no, you look at the amount of people that have played in Germany, like Sancho, like Werner. Obviously there's the exceptions like Haaland, but I mean, you have a look. For the most part, you see a lot of players that struggle in the Premier League that excel in the Bundesliga. Now, don't get me wrong, I love German football. They produce world-class players, but as a collective, it's much easier to score. It just
Yep,
is.
yep.
And so it's a little bit, I don't want to say disingenuous, because that has a connotation of attacking. I don't want to attack you because that's not my intention. But you get my
Yep,
gist,
yep.
though, right? But
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
but you, so getting back to the original, when you say about inverting, I agree with you, sir. I really do, Dante. You're very logical. You're very cerebral. You put things in the context. But having said that, and yes, you're right about Maatsen. Yes, that is an option. I'm not denying that, sir. But you must admit, we were down to the bare bones. 5 on the left, 4 on the right. I mean, we weren't blessed. And don't forget, a lot of the time, when you had people coming back, they weren't able to play 90 minutes or start. They had to play rotational.
yeah, I agree. Yep.
And
But I just there was plenty.
no.
In my opinion, there was options.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so, because of the injury, especially early on. Maybe after Christmas, like February, March, I agree with you. There were far more options because both those positions were more solidified, shall we say, due to the recovery of players. But the first half of the season, I politely disagree, sir. But
Yeah. Well,
okay, can
there
I ask
was
you?
times when we had cover and when we didn't, and
Yeah, and it
sometimes
was.
even when we had cover, I still went for the wrong option. He still went for
Yeah,
uh,
no, that's valid. That's valid. But
so
there
he
are
still
times that.
actually persisted with it, even when we had options.
Yeah, just like with
So
Sterling, right? I agree with you.
yeah.
I'm not saying everything he did was correct, at least in my eyes, anyway. I mean, what do I know?
Well,
I'm just a
he's
plonker.
gone now. He's an ex. He's an ex now, so he's gone.
Yeah. Um,
We're
so I
finished.
assume you're not a Poch fan, then, correct?
No, not at all. No, I wasn't. I gave him a go from the start. I don't know if
Sure.
you keep an eye on the chat, but you probably not as much. I backed
I
him
do
from the start,
sometimes.
but after a while, I realized he's not the guy. He's just not it.
Okay, I respect that. I welcomed him, not because of him being a Spurs. It's because of what he did in Southampton. He was very impressive when. I mean,
Yes.
I liked his interviews because he used an interpreter also, so you didn't get this misinterpretation. Because half the time I listen to his interviews, and this is coming from me that is not bilingual, so I'm being facetious, and I understand, he struggles, but his English is fluent. But half the time I lost him in post-match conferences. I was like, what did he say? But
Because
anyway,
he just doesn't stop. Yeah, he just goes in circles.
yeah, he's a
I
Roger.
don't think he understands himself sometimes.
So, okay, what do you think of our vice captain? Do we move him on, or does he stay?
In my opinion, we move him on because one,
Yeah.
he's always injured. Two, this new coach, this new system is not for him
No, it's not at all, is it?
at all. Yep, it does not suit it at all. I'll I'll be extremely surprised if he somehow starts hardly any games because it doesn't suit
What
as
is
an
it in
inverted left
4?
back.
Yeah, in 4 years he's only participated in like 36 games or whatever the stat is. Don't quote me, but it's ridiculously small.
One season out of 4,
Yeah,
one full
yeah,
season basically. Yeah,
I think it's 33 games actually in 4 seasons or something. And I think him and James have only started since the Champions League final in like 13 or 14 games. I mean,
yeah.
it's, I don't, yeah, I mean, you're right. If I look at this squad and then knowing what I know about Maresca, he's the one person that to me looks like a square peg in a round hole.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we'll try to move him on because of the wages, and I
Yeah,
think
see,
that as well.
he's like Sterling, isn't he, in that
He's
regard?
exactly like Sterling.
And didn't he sign an extension like last year till like 2080 or something ridiculous?
I
It's
think a year and a half ago, I think he signed that
yeah,
extra 2 years or something.
it goes to like 2028 or 2027, something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
2
It's
years
like,
on top of what he had. Yeah.
what the fudge? What are we thinking?
I think they were looking at him as to keep him as he was still on the younger side out of the more experienced players.
How
So,
old is he,
and I think
mate?
they wanted to make him captain, which vice captain.
Yeah,
And he was the face of Chelsea for a while. Remember, he was in all the ads. He was on
yeah.
every sort of screen. He was doing interviews.
He's
They
27
used
and
him
a
as a
half.
bit of the face of Chelsea.
I actually thought he was older. He's only 27 and a half. Oh, I was wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. So he
Yeah,
at the time he was within the model basically.
yeah, exactly. He fit within the parameters. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going
So
to ask you.
that's
Can I ask you a quick question? It's about
go ahead. Yep.
goalkeeper. Do you think do we go in for a new keeper, or do you see Petrovic as our starting keeper, or Sanchez?
Okay. So Kepa's coming back.
Yeah, I actually like him. I know I'm going to get crucified
With
for that.
Champions League medal and an extra £8 million for us, which is
Yeah,
great.
thank you very much.
Thanks for that. Now, are we keeping him or are we moving him on? Obviously, we're going to try to move him on. But if somehow we can't and he doesn't get a loan either, I think he would be the starting keeper under this coach. He's the
Mm,
most that's suited to his style.
I agree.
Yeah. So if not, Petrovic is good at quick passes, but he's not really left foot, right foot. He's only got one foot.
Yeah, he does
And this
predominantly.
coach loves the left foot and right footed goalkeeper that can pass both ways and not switch over to his other foot and then move the ball on. He likes so you can pass with both feet quick, one touch and go pass. And actually join into the centre backs, step
Yeah, yeah,
up
yeah,
into
yeah,
the field, join with the
yeah.
centre backs and pass around. So you need to be really, really good at technical with
Yeah,
your feet.
and that's why I don't know whether you know this, but I'm not sure whether Portugal, but I know in Spain, when a team is training for like the last, I don't know, 15 plus years, goalkeepers
Yep.
don't train as goalkeepers. They train as
No,
outfielders. And then when the
correct. Yep.
outfielders are finished, they actually start to warm up and do the goalkeeping drills. So this is why, on the average, obviously there's always exceptions, but if you notice, they're very technical with their feet, with the ball at
Correct.
their feet. That's why. And I'm not sure whether they do it in Portugal, but that peninsula, I mean, they're very technical players. They're very gifted, and especially their
They are. Yeah,
goalkeepers.
that's why Kepa's, if he
Yeah,
stays, and I think the coach will choose him if he stays.
yeah. So do I.
Yeah.
Listen,
Otherwise, yep. Sorry, go
the
ahead.
season he played for us 2 years ago, was it 2 seasons ago? I thought he had an outstanding season. I don't think he was consistent at a certain level. Don't forget we had a very porous defense, shall we say? But I've heard that when he moved to Spain last season, I heard he was horrible, especially commanding his box. I heard he was really poor, and he made quite a few bloopers that led to goals, and so howlers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
But
and that was mostly in the air. Yeah, in
yeah,
the
yeah,
air.
and we haven't seen that. We haven't seen him do that at Chelsea. But apparently, last season he was really poor. That's why he got benched, right? I know he hurt
Correct.
himself initially, but he was benched and he never regained that position. But now I haven't seen him play this poorly for Chelsea. But 2 years ago, I thought he was. Can you imagine? I think he could have excelled with a solid front four or front five, depending. But
Yep.
he does worry me about. He reminds me of De Gea in his first season with United. He lacked upper body strength and the ability to climb for the ball aerially.
Yeah. No, look, yeah, I'm not a big fan of his, but if he's gonna stay, and I mean, yeah, I don't want him to stay. Obviously, it'd be good to get rid of him, but
But let me
most
ask you a
fans don't
question:
like him.
wouldn't he's burnt a bridge?
He's
Um,
burnt the bridge. He's spoken out. He made his feelings pretty clear. So that's kind
yeah,
of killed everyone, I think.
but,
So I don't
but
think no
but
one
if
wants
he
him around.
did start for Chelsea, wouldn't that be hindering Georgie Petrovic though?
It would, but Petrovic is not. Look, if I were to choose between Petrovic and Sanchez to start, I'll still start Petrovic.
Yeah,
just because he actually, when he gets the ball at his feet, he doesn't play around with it.
No.
He passes it quickly, and if he can't do something, he'll just boot it out or boot it forward.
Yeah, we win that Arsenal game with Petrovic in goal for sure.
100%, yeah, 100%. Sanchez is much better with the ball at his feet, passing, especially long range passing and stuff like
Yes.
that. But the problem with Petrovic is very slow.
He's a bit. Yeah, he's
So
more
he's tall.
cautious.
Obviously, he's very tall.
Mm.
He's very slow. He has to swap the ball to his other foot every time, and you can't do that. Even though
Yeah.
you're a much better passer, you can't do that at the higher level,
Yeah.
especially when a coach is going to want you to play quickly out and pass the ball around much.
He can
I
work on
don't.
it though. You know what?
He
With
can work on it,
Sanchez,
and I think that's why the coach came out and said, "I'll try to work with him, and we'll see what happens." But we'll see. He'll probably figure it out pretty quickly that he won't suit that too much. Not in the EPL when there's other teams pressing you from the front.
are you talking about Sanchez, right?
Yes, Sanchez. Yeah.
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 I
What do you
actually.
think about that, Roger?
Yeah, no, it's valid what you say. I concur. Listen, on his day when Sanchez is in top form, he's a great shot stopper too. His wingspan, his ability to climb for the ball is excellent. But he has a blooper in him. You know it's coming. You just
Nearly every
know.
game a blooper.
Yeah, you just know. You're just like, I don't know about you, but as a fan watching the game live, I have very little confidence in us keeping a clean sheet based on his propensity to make a mistake with the ball. Just to
I
be honest
agree.
with you.
And even in the air, the last few games
Yeah,
before he
yeah.
got benched, he dropped everything in the air and it was just jumping at ghosts. I don't know
Yeah,
what he was doing.
his confidence was shot. I don't know why, but he hadn't experienced that, or we hadn't seen that previously. But yeah, you're right. These last few games, he knew he was shot. Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
look,
don't
he's
know.
on a 7-year deal. He's comfortable. So
Yeah. See, this is the thing that gets me. You know, I don't understand that deal whatsoever. I don't understand Chilwell's extension. I don't understand that deal.
yeah, that deal was I have no idea what happened there. I think we were just washing some money through Brighton.
So
That's
true.
my only this. All I can think of is
Yeah.
if we're still going to Brighton and doing these things, we're washing money through Brighton somehow.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get the insinuation because it's very counterintuitive logically, isn't it? I don't get most of these deals.
And yeah, especially that one with how they look at money and how they look at deals, it just didn't make sense at all. So I don't know, unless we owed Brighton something or something, there was an agreement beforehand. Who knows? We
Maybe
don't
the
know.
football directors
Well,
looked
yeah,
up
there could have been an
charity.
agreement in the background. We never know, like gentleman's agreement, handshake. Like next
Yeah.
year, he'll come, blah blah blah. There could have been. We don't know, but
Nudge, nudge,
it's
wink, wink. Say no more.
yeah, exactly. It didn't make sense. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's.
who
I don't know.
knows? Who knows?
Are
But
you
anyway, we're stuck with
excited?
him now.
Are you excited for next season, the upcoming season?
I actually am, Roger. Yeah, I am. I wanted to change. I didn't think Poch was the right guy going
I get
forward.
that impression, by the way.
Yeah, I
Just
wasn't his
saying.
fan at all. I didn't like his flip flopping and changing and talking and lying, which he lied quite a few times, and he was caught out in it. And I just not a fan of that. I lost a bit of respect when he started, flip flopping and lying. I'm like, yeah, okay,
I don't
no.
see eye to eye on that, but I do have to say though that I was hoping for better. Was he perfect? No, but I still think when you consider the team was depleted. I mean, we led the Premier League in the most amount of players missing per game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was we averaged like 8.3 or 8.4 games, 8 point players per game missing, and our opponents were like 4.2 or something. So it was exactly 2-to-1 ratio. That you must admit hindered the team's progress. Having
It
said
did,
that,
yeah,
having said
100%.
that though, we could have done better. And my only defense of him is to say that we did create so many chances, and our lack of, shall we say, being clinical, I think cost this team tremendously. And that has nothing to do with a manager / head coach. It's the lack of, you know, some of the misses were horrendous, and that has, especially like you look at the League Cup final. I know Bobby disagrees with me, but when you have 5 big missed chances, and I think 3 of them in the last 7 minutes, That has nothing to do when you set your team up to be in a position to succeed, but they can't execute. That's not on the coach. That's on the players.
Execution is 100%,
Yeah,
100% that is, but
yeah,
also what is on the coach who chooses to play up front and
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
do
No,
that.
I agree, totally
Yeah.
agree. But
So
then who are you going to now? The one thing I didn't get was sending Broya away when we've only got Jackson. As it like, God forbid, if Jackson had gone down, then what are we going to do? Bettinelli? Come on, it's ridiculous. I didn't agree with
hey,
that
don't
move.
disrespect Bettinelli.
God, I've actually seen him play. He's horrendous, mate. He is. He is. God, he
He's on a
makes.
pensionate with us,
Yeah, he
45,000
is.
a week.
Yeah, bless him. He's going to be a pensioner, like the Chelsea
Well, yeah,
pensioners.
he's old, and
Yeah,
that's quite a big salary for not doing nothing and never playing.
yeah.
I think just
What
to meet the quota, English quota, he was one of those players
I've
that
seen him play. I think was it one half or one match a couple of seasons ago in preseason, and wow,
he came on in the preseason. He came on for had halftime. That's the only game he played yet.
yeah, he was horrendous. I was watching his footwork. He looks like a fish out of water. Bless him.
But they gave him another deal. That's what I was like,
Well,
what? What?
apparently he's part of the furniture. Apparently he's very well liked. He's got a great person. And don't forget, when you're in the locker room, it's all about bonding. That is part of the game that is, not on the stat sheet, correct? It's
Correct.
like
Yeah, it is.
bonding a team is something that you can't duplicate. It's natural. It's either there or it's not. You can't force it. And I think he's part of the glue that solidifies a team. And
I
that's
know
really
about the glue,
important.
but 45,000 pounds a week is for what type of glue is that? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I volunteer to be the glue for that price.
That's some super glue, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, so
Um,
it's good. So you're optimistic about the season.
I
That's
am. I'm
good.
looking forward to it. I actually think it's exciting. I like Maresca. People don't think he's experienced enough, blah blah blah. But he's
I,
worked under the best,
yeah, of
and
course.
I think he's got a great philosophy. He's got a good style. It's just if he can implement that straight away, and the players to buy in from day one straight away. That's the only problem I see. That's the only problem I see. If the players buy in from day one,
So I hear a lot of like ESPN that the analyst was saying that he's too young. You need a Real Madrid coach. That the players when they're that young they look up to someone that they revere. But I'm like, you can conversely say he's out of touch with those players. They can't relate
correct.
to them, or they can't relate to him, perhaps. And so you look at a young coach, and
Yeah,
they're relatable. Perhaps you can look at it both sides of the coin, right? You can play devil's advocate.
you can. Yeah,
Um,
look at it. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
think he's
he's.
for a coach that doesn't have Premier League experience. I think he was the best option by far.
Yeah, he wasn't my top option, but he was.
So who did you
I
want?
didn't
Okay,
mind. Well, out of the candidates, I think probably Amarim made the more sense, just
sure.
based on winning recently,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Do,
yeah,
do,
that mentality and
are
just
you
his.
are you okay with us with a back three/back
I am,
five?
yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
good. Same
Yeah,
me.
I
Yeah.
was calling for that during the season,
Yeah, so was
Poch.
I. So was I, if you remember. Yeah.
So I'm very fine with it. I have no problem. I think it suits our players better. So I think it's good. I have no problem with that. So yeah, just on the Maresca, yeah, just the only thing is if he can sell his message across from day one and the players to buy into it in the philosophy from day one. That's basically the rest. I think he's got everything. He's worked under Pep. He's got
He seems
uh,
very driven.
look.
Very
He's an
driven.
assistant mostly, but the assistants are the ones that work with the players day in day out at the top
Exactly.
level, not the managers.
Yes. It's like coordinators in the NFL. The head coach slash the head coach has
Yeah,
usually very little to do. It's the defensive coordinator that works with the defense,
correct.
and obviously you have the defensive lineman coach, you have the linebacker coach, defensive back coach, etc., etc. And it's
Yeah.
the same for football. Also, it's you look at
Yeah,
Sir
especially at
Alex.
the higher levels.
Yeah, so
It's
Alex
they've got.
had nothing to do with coaching his team on a daily basis. Did you know that? He was nothing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
of
with it.
course.
Yeah. He was the
Yeah.
manager. He had nothing to do with the training.
Look, there's some of the top managers that don't even really just talk to the players a little bit here and there, but it's all
Yes.
the assistants. It's all
Yes.
all the work.
I've always
They
said
just
that in the NFL, I'd rather have two great assistant coordinators an average head coach than vice versa.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's why it's so important as well in football as well at the top level, because those assistants is what they work the hardest. They're much more important in my opinion. Yeah, the coach, he's the face of it.
Yeah,
The manager is the face of it. He does everything. He chooses in the end the team and stuff, but to implement his idea and the work, all the assistants do all the work. Yeah.
yeah,
So
because they're on the ground level, aren't they? They're in the trenches.
they're right there. Yeah, exactly. They have a relationship with the players quite a lot. So look, I think he'll do fine. It's just we'll see how we go. We can. I mean, I'm going to back him from the start. If he starts, did you see the quote that the club put out a couple of days ago? Yesterday, I think it was,
No, I haven't.
saying that when he interviewed and they talked, that he said, so the club said, of getting a top four, they think we're a top four team we should be in the top four. But he actually rebutted that and he said, no, he thinks we have a team and a squad, and what he sees that we should be challenging with Liverpool, with Man City and Arsenal, not just top four.
Yeah, perhaps if all healthy, but
Yeah,
we haven't seen that for years. I like his bravado. I like his positivity in that regard.
yeah. I like it too. I'm a fan of that. I'm very, very happy. I don't like it when, like Poch did. Yeah, Poch first interview.
I don't recall.
We are challenging for the title. Yeah, we're going this. Yeah. 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, no, we're too young. We don't have, we have this. He changed.
That's called posturing, right?
Yeah. So I don't like that. So I'm happy with him coming out and saying that. But if he does like what Poch did and comes up and starts making excuses, then I'll lose respect, because I don't think he's that type of character. I don't see it. I don't see him being like that.
Do you know the one thing that I really like in his quality is the fact that he's a very hard work. He's the type of person that will just sleep on the couch in his office, stay late, and do the due diligence. He's a hardworking. He's very detail orientated. He's hard driven. Very much like in the mold of a Pep. That's what I want. I want someone that's driven, that doesn't accept losing. And you see this with certain players that have retired, where a retired player like an Emmitt Smith in the NFL, he didn't like losing at dominoes, couldn't stand it. Like John Elway couldn't stand losing in golf or cards. He just cannot abide losing no matter what he does. So same with football players also. It's like that's what drives them. It's the fear of losing.
Especially for young players, you want that example. You want that to show them that, to see that Maresca is the type of guy that he's first at training apparently every morning.
Yeah, he's driven.
There. He sleeps sometimes there, and he's there. So he's that type of guy, which I think these young players needed. They need to see that example. Poch was very different. He's laid back, let them do what they wanted.
Yeah.
We saw the discipline was
very
absolutely
nonchalant,
horrible.
right?
There was no discipline at all.
Yeah.
Looking at the yellow cards.
I'll tell you the one, if I may, the one thing that I did have an issue with was the lack of discipline. And I know it's a very youthful team, the youngest in the Premier League, but it's the fact that he didn't name a penalty taker.
That's one example.
And you saw the repercussions of that on multiple occasions. And
it went on for weeks.
Yeah, and I have to admit, he was a little bit too nonchalant regarding something like that. I don't see the criticism as you do, but I do see he did indeed have faults, as do most people, right?
So you see that part. You saw that part with the penalty. To me, that's not that important.
No, but it is because, and the fact of these players, and as I said, I do understand that they're exceptionally youthful, but you saw with Jackson being on 9 yellow cards for the longest time. So that means he can, pull the reins in. The fact that he lacked discipline, and not just him, I'm talking about everyone. And that to me is partly down to the coaching staff / head coach, because it's his responsibility / coaching staff's responsibility to impart discipline, and more importantly, to make sure this team is never flat. There's part and parcel of that job description, and to me, it's unnecessary for a team to show this lack of discipline. And I agree with you on that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so that Jackson, exactly what you said there. After 9, he didn't do it anymore.
Yeah. What does that tell you,
That
right?
just showed you that
Yeah.
he, like you said, he can, but there was no repercussions or anything before that.
I agree.
There was nothing there. And it wasn't just him, it was so many players. I think we were getting 2 to 3 yellows. Like, I think we had we were number 1 in the league for yellows the whole
I think
season.
we were. I think we
Yeah,
were.
I think we were. But 2 or 3 a game for the first 20 games were just kicking the ball away.
Yeah. And
Every game.
It's frustrating as hell, isn't it? I just don't get it. And that's the coach's
Obviously,
fault.
they did not punish, or the discipline was not a factor as much because it wasn't enforced at all. Obviously, it just wasn't, because they kept doing it every game, and that just doesn't happen. Even though they're young, you can say they're young, but that doesn't happen because you saw when Jackson got 9, he stopped. So there was no repercussions, unfortunately, and that was just Poch's way. He's a very laid back guy. He's a bit of a hippie, laid back. He likes to, let them do what they want, and that's just his style
It's
of coaching.
nonchalant, isn't it?
Yeah, very. And look, it can work sometimes. I think at a lesser clubs that works much better. I think at a higher,
unless you look at Real Madrid's coach, right? I mean, he is the quintessential laid-back coach, right?
yes. But Ancelotti, he has 17 head assistants.
Does he
17
really?
assistants he has.
Only
17 assistants, correct.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that many. Wow.
Yes, he's one of the ones that has the most assistants. So 17 assistants, that's a crazy number.
He's got assistants for assistants by the sound.
Yeah, exactly. So 17 he's got, and he's had that for a long time. So
well, obviously it works.
Yeah,
well,
it works.
Apart from Everton.
Yeah, actually, he did well at Everton. I think they were 4th till they got 3 or 4 injuries, and then they dropped off.
Yeah.
But to their main players, they were like 4th for the first 10 weeks or something. They were really up there. They were in Europe, and then they got injuries. So they actually did pretty well there. But then they lost all their best players, like 4 in a game, 3 or 4 in a game, and then they went downhill from there. But he didn't do that bad. People say he did bad there, but he actually did really good with the squad that he had. He did very well until they all went down, and then at a small club like that, it's not sustainable. So yep.
Dante, I've got to get going shortly, but I want to ask you, if I may,
sure.
Before I leave, it's what do you see happening in this season? What's your prediction? Obviously, you can't adjust for injuries, but assuming we have a modicum amount, just a slightly average amount of injuries, and we're not decimated like we were last year, do you see us top 4?
I expect a 4th. Yeah. Yes, I expect to finish 4th. That's my expectation. I think we should have finished 4th this year as well, to be honest.
We were close to finishing 5th. I mean, when you look at the points total.
If you look at the games, the points we dropped against the bottom 6 teams, especially the bottom 4 teams.
That Burnley and Sheffield points dropped.
Yep.
Nottingham
Forest,
West Ham.
All the bottom 6, I think we lost the most points or something like that.
Yeah.
If we just 2 of those games, which were just shocking games, coaching wise, they were pretty shocking. Player wise too, but very coaching wise, they were pretty shocking as well. And just 2 of those games that we would have won out of the bottom 6 out of the 6 games or whatever it was, we would have been 4th, no problem. So I think we should have been 4th this year. In my opinion, I think the squad's was good enough to be 4th this year, and I think it is next year as well, especially with a bit of experience, obviously. And if we're going to add something to it, I think a 4th should be the minimum position we should be aiming for, 4th.
Are you a little bit concerned though that we do lack leadership around the pitch? I'm not talking about tenure. I'm not talking about we don't have 32-year-olds. You can be a 22-year-old leader, like a young JT, etc. But it seems that we may lack that intangible.
Roger, we don't really have captains, to be honest.
Yeah, we don't, do we?
No, Reece James, in my opinion, is not a captain material. Not yet, anyway.
I agree.
Just not. Chilwell,
No,
A little bit, but he's never
no,
around. So what's the
yeah.
point? Gallagher, yeah, he does this, but he's not vocal. He's not. He still doesn't have it for me. He's not a captain, in my opinion.
No,
Gallagher.
I agree.
He just doesn't have that. Something's missing yet. I don't know. He's not vocal, and you can
Do
see it
you know
when
we when
players don't really respect him that much as a captain. I can see that on the field.
do you know what we're missing? We're missing the attitude of a player like Rudiger,
Yeah, of course.
an enforcer, someone that people look up to in the locker room. I don't
Look, so
see.
Gallagher is that enforcer type of player, but there's other things missing. It's
No,
the
I'm talking about
personality.
leadership-wise, though. I'm not talking about
Yeah, that's
enforcer as in tackling. I'm talking about you
correct.
see him pumped up like he's just won the World Cup when he's at the halfway line tackling someone.
Let me ask you this question, Roger. If you were to pick a captain, who would you pick of the existing team?
Oh, good Lord. Tea lady. It's that simple. I see no one. I don't
I see
see
one with the potential. I
Enzo.
see one, and that is Enzo.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
was
only
a
potential I see.
Yeah, that's the one that comes to my mind. No disrespect to any of our centre backs, because or a goalkeeper, I just don't see it there. Forward,
No,
I just don't see it. I see no one.
no. I
Palmer,
mean,
no
you would think
bloody way.
Sterling being the leader, the
Oh,
mature, but he's
please,
not that type of player.
please. Palmer is no way near a captain material. He's too timid.
No. Too
It,
selfish. Too, yeah, not ready.
we
No.
don't have this innate ability to, that alpha gene. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be someone in their 30s. I'm talking about Roy Keane-esque kind of
Yeah.
mentality.
We're pushing it a bit there.
Yeah. Well, work with me on this one, right?
But yeah, Enzo is the only one I see that has that gene you're talking
Yeah,
about. But
I
he's
agree.
22 only. But he's got that gene. He's got the
He's the
fight. He's
only
got
one that
the
comes to mind, Dante.
yeah. So would you be surprised if Enzo names him as Enzo names Enzo as captain?
Is our garage big enough for two Ferraris? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, mate.
Do you see him changing captains?
I think it would be a bold move, but I think it'd be rocking the boat a bit. I
Yeah,
think maybe if
I think.
Chilwell leaves, he'll put him as vice captain. I don't
Okay,
think
so you
he's
do
going to
see
rock.
that move. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
That's no disrespect to Reece. He's our only world class player. I would say Enzo is on the cusp of that, but Reece is truly our only world class player that you could honestly say he would start in, with the exception of City's right back. He would start in every other 18 teams and virtually all over Europe. I think he would be the starting right back for the most
Yeah,
part.
if he's fit, we all know
Yeah.
that.
Well, of course, if
Knows that.
right,
That's
and if
a
my
given.
uncle had fallopian tubes, he'd be my auntie, right? But
And this is his last chance, in my opinion, with his
yeah,
new
so
surgically repaired strings. It's his last chance to prove that if they break as well, I was saying that he should just retire.
Dante, you know what I said this time last season on Coach's show? This is the most critical season for Reece James and Fofana. They have to prove they can stay healthy. Like a
Yes.
week later, they're both gone or whatever. I'm like, fudge. No, honestly,
We were
though,
joking about Fofana. I was saying that I could tell that we were having a discussion. I said I can tell that he gets knee injuries all the time because of how his legs, how his legs are sort of. And
yeah,
coach was saying
bow-legged.
K-leg. Have you heard of K-leg before?
No,
It's a Nigerian thing apparently.
I've never
K-leg.
heard of it.
So you can imagine the letter K and how his legs are at the bottom like
Yeah,
a K.
no, I get it.
You get it? I never heard of it either, but coach and everyone had a big laugh about it.
I've never heard of
So
it.
we
That's
called him
funny.
KK Fofana. So
Oh,
um,
ouch.
yep. So yeah, because I played with a player that had exactly the same. He was out every year with knee injuries. So
So do you not see him having a relatively full season then? Do you think he's but be honest with you, if he
yep.
misses a significant amount of time this season, I think he has to be moved on. He has to be. It's a loss. I don't see him ever being able to stay healthy if it's going to be 3 seasons gone. I just don't see it. There's no way
Yeah.
back from that, I believe.
Well, you
I hate
can't
to
do
be
that. You can't
negative.
have 3 seasons in a row. No.
I hate to be negative, but I'm just being realistic. Same with
Look,
Reece, by the way.
he's young, Roger. The only thing he's got on his side that he's very young,
How old is
which
Fofana?
people are surprised, but he's actually very young. Everyone thinks he's like 25, 26.
Yeah. No,
He's yeah, I think
he's
he's 22,
23. He's 23
22
and
or
5
24.
months.
Yeah, so he's actually still a little bit younger.
17th of December 2000. Wow.
Yeah. So he's a little bit younger. Because everyone thought
Yeah.
he was like 26, 27, but
Yeah.
no, he's actually quite young. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was 24, 25, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's got that on his side. So
But
as he matures a
honestly,
bit, his body might get stronger. His legs, it could help. But yeah, it's the same as the Reece, exactly the same as Reece, like you said, both of them.
if
Yep.
Reece misses significant part of the whole season again, I think he needs to be moved on also. It sounds really callous of me, but you just
Well,
can't
it's
have.
true. Well, look, everyone's emotionally attached to these players, but it is a business in the end, and when you're given one chance, two chance, third chance, well, you got to move on. Unfortunately, that's the business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll stay in the middle.
And Reece is on significant salary, by the way. He's on incredible. Unless he renegotiates with incentives, then he needs to be moved on, because you can't be paying probably one of our highest, if not the highest, after Sterling, this kind of money when you're sitting on the bench, or sorry, in the medical room.
Exactly my point. I was just thinking that they should restructure his contract. Simple.
Yeah.
If he wants to stay, if he gets it again, and if he wants to stay, they should restructure the contract,
Incentivize it.
incentivize it, and add a clause in there. If he gets injured, again, whatever. Look, it's hard to do these days with the players, but
yeah.
I mean,
they have all the power, don't they? Really,
they have a lot of power these days. It's pretty hard to do, but yeah, that will put us back quite a bit because they're two of the biggest earners, those two. So price wise and also earning wise, so salary wise. So yeah,
but you know what though, when he's fit, he's a difference maker. He's
a difference maker. Yeah,
the quality of his crosses are sublime.
Yeah. He's, like you said, he's a world class player. So
yeah, to me, he's a difference maker. I believe if he's healthy, let's say he plays 80% of the games, we're top 4, assuming we're not depleted. I really believe that.
Inverting him, so Maresca does invert the right back as well, and
it's more
some
so
games
than the left.
inverts both right back and left back at the same time.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I think, because he played midfield. What was it, for Wigan or whomever it was?
Wigan, yeah, it was player of the season.
Yeah, and he was in midfield and he bossed it.
He's got the physique for it, so
yeah. Similar to Trent Alexander, not the physique, but the repertoire of passing.
And shooting, and yeah, he's more offensive as well. Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Now,
look,
Trent is a better passer, but I think Reece is a better shot maker and definitely a better defender.
Yep. 100% defending, 100%. Look, it'll help him because he doesn't have to run up and down the line.
Exactly.
Up and down.
And that's the position that actually puts more mileage on that logbook than any other position. Because you go back 20, 30, 40 years ago, these fullbacks, they never made it past the halfway line ever. They just didn't.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And now,
that's modern football, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes its toll. They usually put more mileage on that position than any other. And listen, these are finely tuned athletes. They're as physical as they can be. You look at their diet, their muscle to weight ratio, etc. They're incredibly fine athletes, but they break down.
Unfortunately, Reece has that gene in him that's a bit bigger.
he does need to drop some muscle mass, perhaps.
He's too heavy for that position, to run up and down all the time. It takes a toll on, especially the hamstrings, obviously. Running up
it's
and down.
It's not conducive to longevity, is it? His physique.
Yeah, and he got these injuries being young. Let's not forget, very young.
Which is
it's not like So look, it's his last chance. He finally got the surgery. I've been saying that for 5 years. What are you not getting a surgery for? So he finally got the surgery,
it's
which
a scary thing, mate. It's scary. It's a big deal.
It's not scary. It's not scary when you had it that many times and you need to do it. I mean,
but going under the knife, I'm telling you, there's no guarantee. But I get what you're saying, but I see
It's
it from
just
his
hamstrings,
point of
Roger.
view.
Come on, it's not that bad. Hamstrings
Yeah.
are not. It's not. It's hamstrings. It's only hamstrings. It's not.
Yeah, it's not the brain. I get it.
It's not the brain or your nerves in the back or something. It's not like it's just your hamstrings. But it was his philosophy and his parents
But
apparently
it's how the
natural.
body reacts to surgery. Everyone's body is different. You see what I'm saying? And
It is, but
there's a risk factor, right? And I understand why he prolonged it. I prolonged spinal surgery for 3.5 years.
yeah, I know, I know.
My surgeon. Well, he wasn't my surgeon, but at the time I visited Stanford University, and he said my
Yes,
job is to never cut you open. I'm like, wow,
exactly. Yeah, they
yeah,
all say that.
yeah.
Yes,
But anyway,
they all
so I
say
have
that.
one.
But when you're an athlete, they'll
Yeah,
cut you
yeah.
open straight away.
And trust me, I was not an athlete, so
Exactly.
trust
So we
me.
have a sport. We have. I don't know if you know AFL in Australia.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
AFL. Yeah.
yeah.
So we have that sport. So I know quite a lot of guys that play that. As soon as they get an injury, like a back injury, is very common for the discs to
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
nerve. As soon as they get that, they go in for an operation. 2 weeks later, they're back on the field.
yeah. No, I get it.
But me, like I had the same injury. I had to wait nearly
What
10
type
years
of
to get it
surgery
done.
did you have?
For my discs, for my back.
ACDF,
What's ACDF?
anterior
Sorry.
anterior cervical discectomy infusion.
No, no, no. I had just the what's it called?
Oh,
Might be
yeah, I know what you're talking.
fusion. A
Fusion, yeah.
fusion.
Okay,
Fusion.
so
Yeah, they call it a fusion.
I had ACDF on 3 vertebrae in the neck.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's not even done in Britain. They don't agree with doing 3. They only do 2.
Yeah, that's
Had
more.
it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just the fusion. Yeah, and I need it again now to do another one. So that's for my playing days, unfortunately, catching up.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
So
mate.
yeah, it's not. But I'm just
What
making
posi
an example.
what
The
position
AFL
did you play?
players,
What position
yeah,
did
they
you
get
play?
it. They get it on like 2 to 3 of those a season. They do, which is
Sure,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't
what
believe it. I'm
position
like,
did you
wow.
play?
Yeah. So look, it just depends. Yeah, with the surgery, but the hamstrings, yeah, he should have done that a long time ago because he would have. If they work, usually if you get the surgery for your hamstrings, the surgery is a much greater chance that they work and it doesn't happen
Yeah.
again. Yeah, but natural, unfortunately, kept happening every year. He's had it for like 4 or 5 times now. Four.
It's
Yeah,
been too long. I can't recall, to be honest with you,
he's
but
had 4 hamstrings. I'm pretty sure 4 in a row.
yeah. Well, he had one hyperextended knee, remember, where that could have happened to anyone, right? That was a bit of a fluke.
That's that's different. Yeah,
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 yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's hamstring left and right constantly. Okay, so I've got to get going, but I just want to
yeah.
quickly ask
No
you one more
problem.
question. Starting centre backs, who's your first choices?
KK Fofana on the right, centre back.
I was like, who's KK? Now I get it. Okay.
Or maybe just K Fofana, but he's got 2 legs, so KK Fofana.
Yeah, that's funny.
Colwell probably left centre back.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I can see because Maresca wants ball playing, really
It's
good ball playing.
Cucurella. It's got to be Cucurella.
Cucurella will be left back, yes. For
Yeah.
now, that is depends if we don't sign someone.
Sure, sure, sure.
If we do sign the kid,
We
we're looking at.
overpaid for him, though. Boy, did we overpay.
Yeah, we overpaid, but that was the market at the time, and if we
Sure.
wanted to buy him, we had to pay that money.
Yeah.
But yeah, way too much, obviously. Yeah. Same with Caicedo, same with Enzo.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All
It's the
of them.
market bears, right?
Yeah. So the starter, yeah, will be Cucurella for now. Chilwell, I expect to go, and I think we should
Yes.
be buying a left back. That's the other critical position to buy
What
another left
about
back.
Tosin? Where do you think what part he plays? I really like him.
Tosin, yeah. So yeah, we just signed him. It's not official yet,
No,
so
I know.
we
Yeah.
don't know. But he's done the medical apparently today, so that's probably that's pretty much close to it. 99% probably.
What do you think about Colwell playing on the left and then inverting inside? He's got a great range of passing. I know he's
Well, that's
probably
the other option. Yeah, to do that, that's Cole. The other option, if the coach sees that fit, if he has a height fetish like Poch did, maybe.
yeah.
If not, then I can
What in
see
space
Cole.
is in space a concern for you?
Sorry, the
What Colwell being in space is that a concern for you? Because centre
yeah.
backs don't like to be exposed in space. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he didn't do too well playing as a left back for us, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, yeah, he did well for a couple of games after 10
Sure.
games playing there.
He
Okay,
was
but there's 10
inconsistent.
games
Yeah.
he didn't do well at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So no, I don't think he's good there. No, especially
Okay.
going forward or anything. No, no chance. No. That's why I think he could probably start. It'll be him or Tosin, one of the two that will start there.
And you think Fofana
Fofana,
starts?
if Fofana's not fit, then Tosin will start with Colwell. But I think Fofana being that expensive as well, and being one of those players,
He has to start.
top end players, I think that's almost automatically they'll push for him to start because they had big plans for him. So if he's fit, fully fit, and everything, I think he starts. He's probably our best ball playing defender anyway.
Yeah,
When
I
he's
agree.
the best at dribbling, technical wise, he's probably the best. With his KK legs, he can really twist and turn.
Yeah. I think
And I
I
think
think
he's the
him
most
and
technical
Colwell.
centre back.
Yeah, him and Colwell are the most technical with the ball, in my opinion.
I think Tosin might be a little bit better now than Colwell.
Okay.
A little bit better. I think I've seen him play pass much better.
Haven't seen him enough to play. I know
Yeah, if you
aerially.
haven't seen him, but yeah, check him out. I think he's a very, very good passer of the ball. He's up
Well,
there. Yeah.
well, I know aerially he's automatically our best player aerially, centre back
Oh
wise,
yeah,
for
he's
sure.
6'5", so
No, but it's not just the height; it's what he does with the ball.
yeah. No, he's very he's quite physical. He's a bit his movement can be a bit slow, but he's got those big,
Sure,
massive, long legs that he can really reach across.
he's what we
Really.
need.
Yeah, we needed him. Yeah, we needed him. Look, we needed a world class centre back replacement. Tyson is no world class defender, that's for sure. But yeah, for now to fill that hole, yeah, he's a great signing. Look, I think they broke the rule of over 25 to sign him because it was an opportunity that
Well, he's
was too good
free
to pass.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, it was too good to pass. Local boy, he was there, free transfer, and he's profitable because he's still quite young. So if you sell him in 2 years, you'll make money. So
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, so I think that was just one of those business decisions more than let's break. He's only like a year older, so let's just break that rule just for this occasion for that.
The
And
exception to the rule, right?
correct, yeah, in my opinion, because I think they're still following the plan and the model. I think they're still
Yeah,
going for that.
so do I. I
Yeah,
totally
I
agree
think
with
that's
you.
another couple of seasons away till they break that. So
Yeah,
that's why I take from them. Um, so yeah, it'll be them starting Cucurella. I really want us to sign a left back, another left back. Because Maatsen, I think he'll stay at Dortmund. He'll
yeah.
play there. He won't come back. I don't
Unless
think.
negotiations break down, I'd see him going. Yeah,
Yeah, I think another club will come for him at that price.
yeah, probably.
I think another club will come, another top club, or one of those clubs will come for him at 35 million release clause. They'll come for him, especially being named the UEFA Team of the Season as well. That kind of helps too. So,
You didn't
um,
need to repeat that, by the way.
just so you know,
Yeah, yeah.
UEFA Team of
In
the
case
Season,
I
yes,
forgot, right?
best left back in the world at the moment.
Ever.
So
Hey,
yes, I think
Dante,
he's not coming back.
Dante, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. You're a good chap. You really are. Good sense of
Thank you,
humor.
Roger. Appreciate it. Same here. Yeah.
Good insight too. I appreciate it and respect
Coach,
you.
where's Coach? Coach, get back in here so you can shut the stream off.
Dante, thank you. And Coach, always. And everyone in the chat, thank you ever so much, chaps.
Thank you, Roger. Take care. Speak
You
soon.
too, mate. Stay healthy.
And everyone in the chat, thank you so much. We'll get Coach to come shut the stream because I haven't got that power, unfortunately. And we'll talk soon. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks, guys. Take care.
lanes. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine. Yeah, true passion shines, and I'm